They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
These are corrupt politicians, fake news, the Coneys of the world, all of the bad things that went on. It's called the swamp. And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all.
That's treason. That's treason.
He is a criminal. He's a criminal. He got caught. Read his laptop. And you know who's a criminal? You're a criminal for not reporting it. You are a criminal for not reporting it. Joe Biden is a criminal, and he's been a criminal for a long time. And you're a criminal in the media for not reporting it.
That's treason. That's treason.
If you look at crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people, there was no transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won, from the day I came down the escalator with our First Lady.
That's treason. That's treason.
And we've caught them. We've caught them all. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all.
But should she lose, we'll have an insurance policy and we'll get this guy out of office. And that's what they said and that's what they meant. That's treason. That's treason. They say, holy shit, they caught us. They caught us.
What's going on, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Saturday, April 11th, 2026. Why does Patrick almost look like a deer in headlights right now? Welcome to Saturday Night D-Class. Patrick Cuddles.
It's my brand, guys.
dude, hold on, Dave. We've done about 100 of these D-Class episodes now. Every time I watch your intro, I go, why are we doing this? They already told us it.
No. Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a great weekend. Great show. Welcome, everybody. I see everybody piling in. Special thanks to Belushi for the raid over here on Rumble. Shout out to everybody coming over for his show. Hello to everybody on Pill X, wherever you guys are watching. Happy Saturday, everybody. Joe.
He got me on Pill. Cool. Thanks, Barry.
Yep, Belushi, wonderful work as a brand new Tulip Rooms affiliate, too. Just wanted to say thank you for your efforts.
He's a rock star. That dude is a rock star. He's an untapped treasure to so many. He deserves much more eyes on what he's doing.
Yeah, yep. Damn straight.
Yep, absolutely. If you guys aren't following, head over on Rumble, Belushi, look him up. Great podcaster. You've seen him obviously over here. You've seen him on the roundtable. Good friend of the show. So, Patrick, I haven't seen you. Were you glued to the television with the other 18 million plus people were watching Artemis Splashdown?
There was an Artemis Splashdown? I hear that Denver Nuggets are doing very well, but that was far more interesting to me than CGI and NASA.
It was pretty big, pretty gay. We showed this last night with Patrick. They keep telling me this is a psyop.
Minutes into the descent, the spacecraft slows to just under the speed of sound, around 35,000 feet above the Earth's surface, and then the capsule will begin deploying its parachutes. The forward bay hover parachutes go first and appear when the spacecraft is traveling at 324 miles an hour. The drogues then deploy about 10 minutes into the descent, bringing Orion from 24,000 feet to 6,800 feet. The pilot parachutes finally then will deploy, followed by the mains, which will guide the spacecraft to its final 5,000 feet at about 17 miles an hour, slowing that down. 24,000 miles an hour. That's got to feel quite something.
But you know, they don't feel that at all right now. And our speed in a normal low Earth orbit is about 17,500 miles an hour. So they're coming in that much higher.
17 miles per hour. Oh, don't forget, 324 miles per hour is a very specific number, but that's 18 squared. So I don't really know what to do with that. 9 times 2 times 9 times 2.
It's
Dude, they're worried about burning stuff up, and then they're shooting off parachute after parachute, and then luft balloons.
Yeah, man. Like 99 of them.
Yeah, they come in at the temperature from what I heard them say is half the temperature of the surface of the sun.
Yeah.
God.
Because,
And
by the
they're-
way, because we know exactly what that temperature is, by the way.
We do. We have a thermometer right on it. No, idiot. They use super special instruments. Don't you know that? Go take a class.
Thermometer up the sun's butt.
Oh God.
A rectal thermometer. Yes.
We're gonna get in. We're gonna get into that. We'll look at some of that stuff. I want to actually start. Joe, on my side over here.
What's up, my diggers? That's catching on.
What's up? What did you say?
What's up, my diggers?
I thought you were going to say something. I thought you said something else, and I thought we were entering a brave new world of wonderful profanity. All right,
Joe. Remember that was late night television last night.
Oh, sorry. All right,
this is prime time. Let's try to keep it classy over here. I put in my title over on the Rumble side. I put Influencer Wars Manufacture Israel Outrage, and I was actually looking at the comments on Telegram under the show post, and Jim asked, if Israel has already changed and been neutralized, what is the purpose or goal of manufacturing outrage? I want to get your guys' comments on this, but I was actually having this exact same conversation with my mom earlier this afternoon. Think about it. Is there anything that's gone on in this country in the last, I would even say my lifetime, let's just say the last 10 years, as far as this great awakening that hasn't been achieved through people getting mad? Propaganda against Trump in the first term, impeachments against Trump, manufactured impeachments, Russiagate, COVID, lies, the stolen election, Biden, all of it. Do people pay attention when they're not outraged, besides us?
No. Fear is a wonderful persuading argument, and rage is a wonderful hypnosis technique, if you want to call it that, which I'm sure Scott Adams would have. I think it's all towards the eventual end of a collapse of the duopoly, aka the monopoly on politics, by the transnational criminal organizations that we refer to as the one-party system. And I think we have like the all-time highest rate of people identifying as independents. And so it's working. I would, I'm an independent for sure. I am. I'll vote for whoever I think will actually count my votes. But other than that, I don't consider myself a Republican anymore.
Look, you guys know me, right? I like to flip arguments on their head. And I'm going to do that right here. Rather than talk about the manufactured raid, what I'd like to ask is what's more dangerous than pacification, justified dependence, and comfort? Nobody in that state, apathy, nobody in that state gives a crap about what's going on because we're all comfy and doing our own thing and going to work and picking up the kids and we can be literally lulled into slavery. It happened through the Fed. It happened through our government. It's going on with global, string pulling. And for the first time, the veil is being lifted, and it's being done in a way that's, if your emotions aren't tied to something, why are you going to care? Right? This is why we do protect your mind and control your emotions. Right? So this is happening to us, but what we should be doing is looking at it critically, not emotionally. It's the emotions that drug us into this fight. It's the critical thought that's going to give us that responsibility that's being given back to us through the manufactured rage. I hope that made sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I said to somebody today, I said, they said, well, if Trump could end this war at any time, like why would he allow the gas prices to be up? And I'm like, once again, would anybody care if it wasn't hitting them in the wallet at the pump? Would anybody care besides this community? Would the normies care if it wasn't hitting them in the gas pump? No.
What is the shape of the consent that you think is being manufactured?
It's flat consent. because
Yeah,
I'm just,
definitely flat consent. Yeah.
I walked right into that.
The consent. Well, I wouldn't even say we're in the consent stage yet. I think Joe did that brilliant piece. This was like, we might need to do this again, Joe. I think it's been a few months, but that video you pulled when we did a whole show on manufactured outrage. We're in the manufacturing outrage stage. Lack of justice, right? For Epstein, all that. Now you got this war going on where, again, we have to call balls and strikes. The public isn't behind it right now. Well, what better way to show people how we end up in these wars, right? Everything that's going on right now, this entire influencer wars that we're going to get into, what is every one of these influencers? It's not like these 4 particular influencers that Trump called out the other day are just saying Trump's an idiot. They're all putting out the same message: Israel, 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 Israel. So if you had a war that was going swimmingly and gas was 50 cents a gallon and everybody was rich and everyone was living on the beach and surfing, would anyone be there to pay attention when they throw these messages out there, which Israel is going to be the things like this war potentially getting manufactured by this country, which owns our president and our Congress, is the why of Epstein, right? They've given us the what. There's this Epstein Island. There's this blackmail network. There's kids involved. They use pizza and jerky, and that's gotten a lot of people to pay attention. But no one understands the why. So now they're showing them like, hey, you want to see what can happen when a small group of people has every government in the world blackmailed? You get wars like this. You get a Supreme Court that Donald Trump said that you have a Supreme Court that tried to shoot down tariffs. And what did Trump come out and say? There's foreign influence on this court. They're showing the people the actual effects of this blackmail, this Epstein blackmail Mossad operation. Cannot tell the people, you have to show them. Joe?
I got nothing to add to that. I would agree wholeheartedly. I think you're over the target, brother.
The tension between the two sides in the United States is being poked at, prodded, and we are at a state right now where both of those sides are being shown that their side sucks ass. That's the way I look at it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look specifically at the Epstein P. Diddy thing. It's the same issue touching different cultures in the same society. They're doing this across the board. They're peeling layers of the onion, and it's not just for like one, it's not, I think we look at these things selfishly, right? Like, okay, how am I affected? How are my relationships at work? How are my friendships? And, I'm not seeing any level of growth. Societally, across the board, there's major growth. And I think that's what you were getting at, Dave. And I think that Epstein P. Diddy example is a really good microcosm of what we're talking about here. Like, that P. Diddy stuff's got a lot of information coming out right now. It's not necessarily hitting my radar unless I'm, fully engaged and looking into the information space. If I was just walking around not doing this for a living, I probably would have no idea that they're talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Patrick, to your point, I think we got a giant clue when we did a show, what was it, back in October during the first government shutdown when Marjorie Taylor Greene betrayed Trump and went out. And what was her message? She was saying both parties suck. And she said, I'm ashamed of my party. And then right after that, what was Donald Trump's message? We got to get rid of the filibuster because I got these 3 pages of things that we want to do. And if we don't get rid of it, none of them are going to get done. If we do, we'll never have to worry about another election again. And since then, what have been the 2 real key issues, right? They've taken the parties out of it. Epstein, both sides can agree on Epstein. Maybe not the details of it, but everyone. And now this war, the war is all blowing back on Trump's administration. So yeah, we're still beating up the Democrats, but now we're I think it's pretty obvious they're presenting people with 2 real big problems that both parties are responsible for. And I see unifying that is going in that direction of unification that we've been looking for so long. You could ask a Republican and a Democrat, they're both going to tell you, gas is expensive. We're in a war we don't like, and no one's gone to jail for Epstein, and nothing's getting done in government. Everyone can agree on those messages. Everybody.
You really can.
Remember when Trump said, "I'll take all these slings and arrows for you"? You should remember. I say it every episode.
Every single episode.
Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
But I also had mentioned some things where maybe Trump's not the great unifier, but maybe he is. Maybe unification
slings and arrows kind of way.
Right. Maybe it flips itself. Think mirror.
Well,
I'm not going against Trump, but he's still my favorite main character ever. But what if?
I think it's got the potential. I've said this, and this scares people. I'm sorry. This is just my gut. I think it's going to get a lot more ugly with him before it gets better. I think with this Israel thing, I think he's not only stepping in front of the bus, he's going to let it back up and run him over about 17 times before it's done.
Dude.
And what is that? But what is the next line in that drop, Joe? I'll gladly take all these slings and arrows for you, but even that can be undone. That's the next line of the drop.
Damn, man. It's explaining how it works.
And I would argue that a couple of the comms Trump put out this morning, when I looked at the way they hit the boards, he's literally telling you, don't worry about this influencer war. It's part of it. It's part of the show. But let's start. It's Saturday night. Let's have a little fun. Let's stretch our arms, stretch our legs. Let's have a little fun with some of the news out of Israel.
TV news.
Is Satan dead or not?
Well, apparently he was taken to Germany. Dude's in a coma.
What? Ching Chong, break it down for us.
Chloe and Michael, good morning. We're here in Berlin outside Satan's plane, the Wing of Zion, aka the Flying Hospital, where flight trackers caught it circling the Mediterranean while putting him in a medically induced coma. Allegedly, of course.
Shut it down, Ching Chong. He's alive. Haven't you seen his proof of life videos? The six-finger thing was debunked by the Times of Israel. Same with the coffee cup. Back to the Goislup.
Jeez, all right, Producer Berg, we'll play the videos.
Yeah, don't want to end up like Jackie.
Good call, yeah.
Here's proof that Satan is still alive. Was that AI or was he absolutely bricked?
Dude's packing a meat hammer.
Yeah, that was the wrong video. Play the AI video. Okay, so here he has his ring on.
Oh, there it goes, just like a magical jujitsu.
How about the coffee cup video? All right, so this one isn't obvious for the normies, but that cup should have spilled.
They literally can't get the proportions right, I swear.
Yeah, let's go to the investigation team to break this down.
Okay, so besides the overfilled cappuccino, look at the dude's head. Just look at the shape of his nose and ears. Either that's a decoy or they think we're retarded.
Just because you retarded Goyim noticed a couple AI anomalies doesn't mean our sugar daddy is dead. Noticing is antiseptic. Now interview the normies that still support the chosen people.
Quick question, what do you think of the bomb school children?
Dude, not another freaking liberal, bro. You all have TDS. Get lost.
Fair enough.
Quick question, would you send your son to Iran?
Buddy, I just got off a 16-hour shift and my wife's at the club right now. Leave me alone.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, bro.
What do you think about supporting Greater Israel?
They're chosen by God to genocide the sand people. And I think the Bible says to bless the people that killed Jesus.
Nope. It actually doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Like, at all. But
my pastor says otherwise.
Yeah. Let's check out your church.
God will not bless you unless you bomb the shit out of the sand people. It says that in Genesis somewhere. Trust me, bro.
Thanks, Pastor Berg.
I love that so much.
What are we doing?
Dude, this is like way more anti-Semitic than me. I'm a moderate now.
The parody, the level of parody is hysterical. It's comical. What they've shown us, I love these. You know, the what's the B one and all that. They just point out so much hypocrisy in what's being shown to us, and we're taking all that stuff in as reality, and it truly is comical.
That Netanyahu video where his coffee could not physically have stayed in the cup the way he held it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I found that video visually convincing. I don't think we're way past the point where the good AI, we can spot it easily. You got to be tricky to spot it now, and I'm not tricky.
Yep. That's a hat tip to Jake G TV on X. That
Good
whole video
job,
is
my
actually
digger.
that video is 10 minutes long. He does these really long. Now I'll forewarn you, I don't necessarily agree with all of the takes he has in those videos. Like that's why I cut it off right about there. But
wait, Dave, how many fingers am I holding up?
17. Oh boy. I thought that was a fun way to start. Let's jump into. I do want to talk about what they're dubbing the influencer wars. I thought that was a good way to tee it up. Just some small business here. Space Shot was actually talking about this today. Here's Elon Musk again, dropping comms into his business. Starlink and US Mobile announced a $47 bundle to supercharge subscriptions for Starlink. Their unlimited plan is $17 a month, and their unlimited data plan is $117 a month.
Holy crap, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, just probably. Oh, and the base plan is 47. Of course, I already said that.
That's awfully coincidental.
Yeah, it's fun with numbers.
I don't come out here and say every 17, right? Like that's a number, just like every other number. Sometimes it's like really in your face and weird and odd and super coincidental.
I'm glad you said that, Joe, because I've had a lot of people ask me like, well, you could pick that number out of anywhere, and you certainly can. I look for it with context.
Yeah.
Right. So I look for it for context with who it's coming from, an Elon, a Trump, whatever. And then when it's headlines, I look for it in the context of something that we believe to be a psyop, because if we've been watching this for the last 9 years now, they stick it in. Dude, we've been tracking the Iran-Israel 17s in the headlines for a month now, right? Every week we've done a bunch of them. And wouldn't you know, there's more. So the B-52 struck 1,700 targets in Iran. Because of the conflict, over 1,700 Indians have exited Iran. Polymarket, the betting app, apparently somebody bet exactly $170 million the night before that there would not be bombings. What else do we get? We talked about this earlier in the week. The Iranian drone that they supposedly copied from us is the Shahed 171, which of course is a reverse copy of the RQ 170. Let's see, the teapot refiners turned to floating storage as 170 million barrels of Iranian crude wait in Asian waters because the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And of course, we had 5 killed and 170 injured in a U.S.-Israeli attack. I believe that's. Oh, wait, there's more. Yeah, when Trump was talking about the rescue last week on Monday, how many planes did we send to rescue that airman? Of course, it was 170. The UAE air defenses intercepted 17 ballistic missiles, and I think that might be a duplicate. We had these 17 dead in U.S.-Israeli attacks. That's all just in the last week. That's how I look for them.
What was the RQ one?
The Iranian drone that they reverse engineered, they call it the Shahed 171, which is a reverse engineered copy of the secret RQ 170. These are drones.
R's letter 23, correct?
Sure.
Excuse me, what?
R is the number 23.
R is the 18th letter of the alphabet.
18? Okay. All right.
Comes right after Q.
Okay. QR. Yeah, I should know that.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, I forgot we have this one. Hunter Biden's back. And, of course, he's got $17 million in debt.
Dude. So a real go-getter with a background in statistics could prove that this is not mathematically possible randomly. Now, I do have a background in statistics. However, the go-getter part, yeah.
And by the way, speaking of space, we learned this morning there's a rare comet coming that will be visible for the first time in 170,000 years, Joe.
What the?
Dude, RQ is 1817.
Correct.
So I did it incorrectly before, but this one smashes just as much. Give me just 1 second. That RQ, especially in the context that you're bringing it up, don't show my screen yet. I'm still getting there.
Well, let me go to since we're talking about space psyops. Let's look at some Artemis CGI here.
Jeremy's dinner, and in space, you really just eat all of your food out of bags of some kind, plastic bags or little metallic bags, because we have to rehydrate a lot of our food. This is actually shrimp cocktail.
Watch the water.
Yeah, so watch the tail the bag leaves on Jeremy's face. So that's this guy right here. This bag is just floating in the air, and if you don't know with this footage that they send out, all these things that are floating is actually CGI, is completely computer animated, and that's why there's so many inconsistencies with it. And if you look at the edges of it, you'll
if you watch the corner of the bag starts to pixelate.
If you don't know with this footage that they send out, all these things that are floating is actually CGI, is completely computer animated, and that's why there's so many inconsistencies with it. And if you look at the edges of it, you'll see
this has been rehydrated already.
It makes,
so we added water
distorts.
to it, and the shrimp soaked back up the water, and it's actually pretty tasty.
They are not eating anything. So
they're not eating.
You see, look right here. It'll kind of distort because it's computer animation, and it can't animate that closely with two different objects moving side by side on different layers.
This is an example of a food that has not been rehydrated yet. It got all dried
Now watch the red dot.
out for...
So they put this red dot on there because that is if you know anything about video editing, you want to put a bright red area on something for motion tracking to keep track of where your animation
flying
is
up here in
going.
space, and those are green beans.
And it disappears sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
They're not
if
trying
you know
to
anything
deceive
about
those who advise
animation, you'll know that this is why they have these dots on things, because you need it to track with the program, so that you know where it is in the 3D space that's built inside of it.
By the way, he is 100% right there. If you've ever watched any like the videos of like Disney and movies when they do CGI, you ever see when it's the layer and it's just like a black screen with like a green grid on it with like the 3D outline, you'll see a lot of red dots in there. He is right in what he's saying. But yeah, there's just more evidence. And, you know, that's why we have a comet coming for the first time in 170,000 years today.
Come on.
Because they have superpowers.
Patrick, RQ is 1817. Would you read this?
Oh, certainly. This is Q drop. 1332?
1817.
Sorry, okay.
It encapsulates.
I apologize. Q drop number 1817 of August 5th, 2018.
Fellow patriots, what you are about to learn should not only scare you, but intensify your resolve to take back control. Freedom. The information that will become public will further demonstrate the criminal and corrupt, pure evil, abuse of power that the Hussein administration undertook in joint efforts with domestic and foreign dignitaries. The snowball has begun rolling. There is no stopping it now. D5. Stay the course and trust the plan. Protective measures are in place. Remain brave. We knew this day would come. YouTube link. United we stand. Worldwide. Where we go one, we go all. We fight. Conspiracy no more.
This is the bottom of that drop.
Beware of your surroundings. See something, say something. Q.
So that was interesting.
And you pulled that, just for anyone not paying close attention, you pulled that from the RQ 17, so 1817.
Yeah, but when you show me two letters and put a 17 next to it, I instantly think go look on the boards. Okay, that goes to the post that shows the gematria stuff, right? I don't overuse gematria, but when there's two letters next to a 17, I go check, and that seems to be pretty relevant to me.
Yep. Joe, you were noticing, I think it was yesterday, you were talking about the Eagle comms flying around.
Yep.
That was that was Clinton's Secret Service. Scavino gave us two yesterday. Now, this first one, it doesn't We'll have to see. He posted it at 8:01 a.m. 8:01 sessions. That kind of piques my interest a little bit because that connects to Epstein, and it's a 14-second video. We don't really need to read Q drop 14 again. It's a very important one. Take a screenshot, guys. But there's a lot in there. But let's just watch the video, and then there's some more connections to this that's kind of interesting. I think they want us to see something. So this is the video right here.
There's more in that video than I think people realize. Okay. Ben Franklin, what's he most famous for? Electricity?
Sure, I guess. The bifocals, or, being a founding father, being on the $100 bill.
Yeah.
Quite a few things. Poor Richard's Almanac.
The Key and the Kite is probably the one I remember most from being a kid. That's him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Where does Q come from? What's that? The clearance level for what?
Department of Energy.
Department of Energy.
It's dasting. The airplane they show there is closer to the colors of not only the JFK plane that he went down in, but also the Trump plane, where do you remember when he pulled the lid off of the when he was promoting his which failed miserably, by the way, his airline, and he was pulling the lid off of the plate, and the way his fingers were, it was the letter Q, and on the whole table was a tablecloth that had a red with white pluses all the way across it. Wow. It was closer to the colors of that plane, and certainly close to the JFK plane, not the current World Economic Forum, WHO colors of the light blue.
All right. There's a couple of directions I want to go in here, but I didn't think of the energy side of it. That's kind of interesting, especially because guess who was talking about 0 point energy this week? Joe Rogan.
And like this missing scientist thing, it sounds a little conspiratorial thing. It sounds like a little silly, a little tinfoil hatty.
It does.
Until you start thinking about the amount of money that would be lost if a breakthrough tech came around that revolutionized the way they distribute energy.
Right.
Breakthrough 0 point energy, breakthrough, whatever that is that these people are working on, plasma technology, whatever the fuck that is. You would lose if you're in whatever business that would be competing with them. You're going to lose so much fucking money. You're probably going to go under. If you're in the energy business, you're going to or he goes away.
Right.
And he goes away, and there's like him and maybe a few other people that work with him that understand that shit at all.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all wandering through the back rooms now. They're gone.
And they're all scared. They're all going to scatter like roaches.
Yeah.
Because their life is in danger, and it is.
So, am I really supposed to believe that like a couple weeks ago, when no one even knew Artemis was going up, it was not in the mainstream at all. That came out of like nowhere. That all of a sudden Tim Burchett pops his head out and everyone starts talking about this missing general, and it's now ballooned to, I believe, 9, the general and 9 missing scientists. At the same time that Matt Gaetz and Tim Burchett are all out there talking about alien civilizations and cloning aliens and all that, and then Artemis goes up and everyone's talking about the moon. This is all happening in a comet for the first time in 170,000. Am I supposed to believe this is all just a coincidence, that this is all happening at the same time? And it's spurring on conversations like that on the largest podcast in the world?
Yes, that is what you are expected to believe.
Joe?
I am so distracted by this, dude. I don't mean to not answer your question correctly, but this whole thing just set me off. Do you remember when Donald Trump said that it might be the last time you see him for a while? Yeah. And he did it in Whirlpool.
Yeah.
Yep. 17 dryers or whatever.
Yep.
So in my head, when we were just having that conversation, I went, okay, well, maybe that's a watch the water comment, something I've never connected to the Whirlpool thing.
Yeah.
And so because of the energy stuff, I thought, is there a term in electricity or energy that might be Whirlpool driven? Did you know Whirlpool turbine technology is a micro hydro system that generates 24/7 renewable electricity by passing water through a vortex? I didn't know that. I'm sorry that my brain does that and I got sidetracked, but that's where my head went.
It's all good.
Vortex-induced vibration. Harnessing
Whirlpool turbine technology is a micro hydro system that generates 24/7 renewable electricity by passing water through a vortex, powering dozens of homes while being fish friendly. These systems are ideal for rural areas requiring only small river or canal and are installed in roughly a week. I don't know. I just found that super interesting. Sorry, I have the worst ADD when it comes to decoding.
That is super interesting.
It is interesting. So Joe, going back to Scavino, right? There's a bunch in here, and I think this is one of those we don't completely know what it is yet. I'm being very clear about that. I put the decodes on there. I don't necessarily know exactly what direction it's going, but he was very clear to zoom in, as you correctly put, on the plane that's painted exactly like the one that JFK Jr. supposedly crashed in.
Yep.
This is 8:01 a.m. Now, would you believe 22 minutes later? Look at what Giuliani puts up.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Okay.
I sound like abs.
So Dan Scavino, 8:01, and then 22 minutes later, Rudy Giuliani puts a picture of himself with Caroline and JFK Jr.
Patrick, why would he do that?
22 minutes later.
Q drop 22.
I've never seen this one before.
Who controls the NG? National Guard. Why was the National Guard recently activated in select cities within the U.S.? Can the National Guard work in coordination with the Marines? Do conditions need to be satisfied to authorize? What former president, Lincoln, used the military to save the Republic, and what occurred exactly? Biggest drop ever to be provided on poll. Study and prepare. The masses tend to panic in such situations. No war, no civil unrest. Clean and swift.
Hey,
November 1st.
Joe and Patrick, did we just do a show 2 weeks ago on this?
Was it only 2 weeks ago?
Maybe 3 weeks ago on Abraham Lincoln's executive order where he jailed members of the media. And do we see a lot of talk about the media right now?
Yes, we do.
Oh my God, do we ever? The media is being put on Front Street. There is no chance. You can't, you would have a very hard time convincing me that people aren't going to jail right now when it comes to the media. They're declassing what already happened.
So think about that. And think about what Donald Trump put out earlier in the week. And look at the language in this. Patrick, go ahead and read this.
Q drop. Sorry. Donald Trump on Truth Social. The alleged statement put out by CNN World News is a fraud, as CNN well knows. The false statement was linked to a fake news site from Nigeria and, of course, immediately picked up by CNN and blared out as a legitimate headline. The official statement by Iran was just released and posted on Truth below. Authorities are looking to determine whether or not a crime was committed on the issuance of the fake CNN World statement, or was it a sick rogue player? CNN is being ordered to immediately withdraw this statement with full apologies for their, as usual, terrible reporting. Results of the investigation will be announced in the near future. President Donald J. Trump, drop 32, which said maybe one day, but it cannot go slow. The initial wave will be fast and meaningful. It will send a signal to others immediately, and you'll see the tide turn. Not even the mainstream media can hide. And rest assured, some will be jailed as deep cover agents.
Meanwhile, the mainstream media pretends as if Trump's a babbling buffoon that does nothing but lie. And we know that when he says things like these, eventually it goes along with the hat that he's so well marketed that says Trump was right about everything.
Yep. And it was March 15th. This is what I keep in the back of my head, where we're not going to read this whole thing, but he's talking about the Wall Street Journal's false reporting in coordination with Iran. Iran working in close coordination with the fake news media shows our great USS Abraham Lincoln Abraham Lincoln
Huh.
carrier. And it says the story was knowingly fake, and in a certain way you can say that those media outlets that generated should be brought up on charges for treason for the dissemination of false information. I don't know. You can't say that he's not ramping up his rhetoric. When I see things like this where they're talking about authorities are looking into it and a crime being committed, I got my eyes open.
You know, Q Drop 32 is an answer to a question. Do we know what that question was? Maybe one day, but it cannot go slow.
I would have to go into the chans to see that. It's not embedded above that. That's actually a really good point, Patrick. All right, I got a little sidetracked there. Let me go back to Scavino. So, Joe, that was the first Eagle comm, and then he did it again
I
last
can
night.
tell you what it's in response to. It's a very simple thing it's in response to. The simple statement, oh my God, please jail Maddow.
I was going there. Yeah, you got
and
it.
Joy and Keith Olbermann and everyone at CNN, except for Tapper. He sounds like he's being pilled lately.
Okay, so there you go. That's great.
Maybe one day, but it cannot. That gives even more context in the direction Dave was already going.
Yeah.
Yep. Great point, Patrick. Let me go back. All right, so he did it again. 11:05 p.m. This one's a little interesting to me. Now, the first one hit on drop 14, which does talk about military intelligence, right? You see it right there. It's in small letters, but right below good old George Washington. So he hit military intelligence with the first one, and then he also, if I can hit the right button, come on, guys. Oh, I love StreamYard. There we go. He put a 12-second video up. Military intelligence reference above is the absolute biggest inside drop this board will ever receive. Good guys are winning. That's kind of interesting. 11:05 p.m. Class action lawsuits are very effective. 2 billion people, global scale, regulation, or kill. People have the power to decide. That fits in pretty interesting with the media. I don't know. Let me just play the video so you guys can see it. This is 11:05 p.m. last night. A lot of Eagle comms. Any thoughts, guys?
Did you check 23:05? It's like because that's military time for 11:05.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't anything.
John Barlow or something like that. It's just the longest.
Yeah, the John Perry. It's the John Perry Barlow.
We over the last 2 weeks have seen through the Iran war, whatever we're calling that, military action. We have seen nothing but Barack Obama, Clinton, Huma type comms, like literally getting down. If you were counting down the drops in reverse, we've talked about this before on the show. It is getting so close to that point. If that's the case, that there's just no look. The uranium one, Barack Obama sending 17 pounds of cash. Like this is all being messaged. That speech that we did last weekend on Tuesday's D class, every single thing pointed to a Q drop, and every single thing had to do with all of this. So now we're getting these Eagle comms, and Eagle is the Bill Clinton Secret Service name, right? Eagle, Evergreen. What's Chelsea's name? I can't remember, but it's another E.
I remember.
Yeah, we're getting all of these comms pointing to Eagle.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I'm glad you went down that road, because the first one hit on AG Sessions. That's got me thinking of Epstein Island, right? Huber, Horowitz working together. That dates back to the Clinton Foundation, all the things you just said. I think there's multiple meanings here. And again, I don't think we exactly know what all this stuff means just yet. That's why we're going to track it. But I also think there's an overarching message here on the media. I think when I'm about to show you two more things, and I think I believe that some of these comms that have been put out the last day are a way of kind of reassuring us that I believe we're the Anons that are seeing through this influencer wars And the Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, MTG, Tucker Carlson, kayfabe, I think they're confirming it for us. It's all about this all connects to media, class action lawsuits, the media lying. Donald Trump came out this morning, 8:28 a.m., 8:58 a.m., excuse me. What does that tell you? Spot on, trust the plan. That was his only truth this morning.
Okay.
But look at what he's talking about. Go ahead and read it, Patrick.
Certainly. Donald J. Trump on Truth Social. The fake news media has lost total credibility, not that they had any to begin with, because of their massive Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. They love saying that Iran is winning when, in fact, everyone knows that they are losing and losing big. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft apparatus is non-existent. Radar is dead. Their missile and drone factories have been largely obliterated, along with the missiles and drones themselves. And most importantly, their long-time leaders are no longer with us. Praise be to Allah. The only thing they have going is the threat that a ship may bunk into one of their sea mines, which, by the way, all 28 of their mine dropper boats are also lying at the bottom of the sea. We are now starting the process of clearing out the Strait of Hormuz as a favor to countries all over the world, including China, Japan, South Korea, France, Germany, and many others. Incredibly, they don't have the courage or will to do this work themselves. Very interestingly, however, empty oil-carrying ships from many nations are all heading to the United States of America to load up with oil. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
So, again, the media. We have the media optically turning on Donald Trump, saying MAGA is fractured. He's hitting it. He's telling you, trust the plan. He's talked about the media. Also, the other two things I just showed you, Dan Scavino's, both of his Eagle posts hit what? Military intelligence, right? We just showed that. He was very specific about the number of mine droppers, 28, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take a guess as to what's in drop 28. Patrick?
Drop 28. It's just a picture of the silhouette of a spy. And, of course, what must be completed to engage military intelligence over other three-letter agencies? During the 1950s.
You don't have to read the whole thing. Right. My point is he's hitting it again. Go ahead, Joe.
Article 2. It's Article 2 what gives him the power to instruct military intelligence to take over all intelligence agencies, all three-letter agencies' investigation.
Right. And he's telling you, trust the plan, and drop 28 finishes with, well done, picture being painted. There's more. That was his only truth until about 2:30 this afternoon. Now, before I even do this, do we all agree that most of the time when Donald Trump puts a truth up that's completely out of context for everything else going on, that it typically means something?
Yes.
100.
Right? Okay. So what has he been talking about? The media, Iran, oil, the Strait of Hormuz, a couple of senators here and there. He randomly puts up a reposts somebody that's talking about presidential salaries. And that piqued my interest because I'm like, this is out of the blue. No one's talking about presidential salaries right now. So the total amount of taxpayer money, the last 10 presidents, we know Trump is 0, Biden 1.6, Obama. Look at the timestamp, 2:30, which is 14:30 military time. And in the middle of that, you have timestamps verified, but it says, use logic, be careful who you follow.
That's the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
Does that seem relevant right now, given all the kayfabe that's going on out there?
Well, do you want to know what I think? And nobody on the planet has said this. Want to know why he's not getting paid?
Yeah.
Because he's a president in exile. And that's why he's still going to be president in 2028. Do you think Donald Trump leaves money on the table?
I hope not.
Look, this is the greatest, as far as optics are concerned, this is brilliant. My man hasn't taken a penny. Sure. Donald Trump loves it. He's got like a gazillion billion dollars in the bank, and he tips like $100 at church, right? We've seen it. Everybody's watched it. My man is very good with money, and he's getting paid nothing. And optically, it's brilliant, except for that. Joe, okay, that what is it? 1.6. What did Biden get paid for real? Did he?
No.
Of course he didn't. So what are we looking at?
I believe we're looking at him trying to navigate Anons through a giant influencer psyop right now. Trust the plan. His first 2 posts today. Trust the plan. Be careful who you follow. Come on. There was nothing in between these two. Everyone can fact check me on that. Let's keep going. We can get through that. We already did that. We can do that. Okay. This started on Wednesday. When all this stuff kicked off and Candace is going off the rails and Alex Jones is a Mossad agent and Tucker Carlson is taking money from Israel and I don't know, Megyn Kelly eats children. I don't know what the hell they're saying. Scavino came out and was very obvious about talking for influencers. So Patrick, read the first one, please.
Dan Scavino Jr. on Twitter. There are many dedicated people in government who could leave tomorrow and earn tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars a month as so-called influencers on social media, but they chose to serve the American people instead, all while the so-called influencers talk shit all day long and get paid big money for clicks and impressions. We see you.
Wait, that's the same man that Donald Trump said runs the internet, right? Of course he sees them.
Correct.
And then he also double posted influencers laughing at them. And then, of course, the next morning, Melania came out with her video against talking about Epstein and demanding that Congress investigate. And then the kayfabe started. Oh, did the kayfabe start? Let's take a listen to our good buddy Alex Jones taking the ball.
President Trump came out on Truth Social and attacked myself and all the original MAGA supporters today. And I'm just so sad that whatever's happened to him has totally changed the man he once was. He did so much good. That said, it followed just a few hours after Melania Trump came out, unannounced, reportedly Trump didn't know, and said she wasn't involved with Epstein and she supports a full investigation by Congress into the Epstein cover-up. Trump says Epstein's a hoax. So this reminds me of Melinda French, when she started turning against Bill, also over Epstein. So Trump's got big problems, folks. And I am just so concerned about this country and the world. Trump's being led around by the nose by Netanyahu and by Mark Levin and others. And it's so sad. The Iran war is a total disaster. A black eye for America. They control the Strait of Hormuz. It is just absolutely incredible what we're seeing and what we're facing. I supported the old Trump. He got so many good things done. But at the end of the day, I just feel sorry for him and pray that God touch his heart and soul and free him from the demonic influences that he's under. I mean, it's just that simple. This is a nightmare. We know the Democrats, the left, are absolutely terrible. But when Trump's calling for wiping out whole civilizations and acting like a supervillain, I have to come out and say I don't support it. It's that simple. So again, Trump's own wife came out at an unannounced press conference today and said the Epstein crimes are real and that she wants the victims to be in front of Congress and the cover up to end. That's the opposite of what Trump's saying. Looks to me like she's breaking with Trump because she knows the ship's sinking, has found out the truth. Elon left 8 months ago saying he's in the files as a cover up. I never saw any evidence of it, but he's acting like he's guilty. We know he's protecting Howard Lutnick, who said he didn't know Epstein didn't go to the island, and he did. So all I can say is this is a terrible day, and it's a nightmare for America and the world, but I'm going to tell the truth, reporting the facts, no matter what it is. Was I somewhat naive? Did I defend Trump too long? He did so much good? Yeah, I did. Are people that, said I defended him too long, are they right? Yeah, it looks like they are. Fine, to a victory lap. But I did it from a place of believing he was the lesser of two evils. And I guess at the end of the day, justice be done may have its fall. There's no such thing as lesser of two evils. So I took the establishment attacking him as the sign I should support him.
He went on to call for the 20th. Actually, Joe, before you go, I got a short video. Let's add Candace to the mix of the kayfabe.
Take money and things and stuff with you when you go, just your soul. And you sold yours for what? Another gilded ballroom? Let me be perfectly clear when I say this. Charlie Kirk, he died free. You will most certainly die a slave. Okay? You are in chains right now, and the entire world can see that perfectly.
That's
At
racist.
best, what you can hope for in this moment is that maybe one day upon the college campuses that you so deeply cherish, they'll teach all about your now tarnished legacy as the perfect modern day example of Plato's allegory of the cave.
Can you think of anything more basic bitch than referencing Plato's allegory of the cave?
Look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not going to do it to you guys. I could play 8 of these. I could go to Tucker. I could go to MTG. I could go to Alex. It is so in lockstep. It's absurd. It's exact. It is. Israel is leading Trump around by the balls. Pardon my language. It's the Adelsons. It's the $250 million that Trump himself stood up there and bragged about. It's absurd. Joe, I'm sorry you had your hand up before. Do you want to add something?
Yeah. Hey, Alex, call me anytime. I'll come on the show. But here, I'm going to be realistic for a second. My man's a Bill Cooper 2.0. Okay. Literally ripped off Bill Cooper. He got famous because of Bohemian Grove and Sandy Hook.
Yep.
Right. My man has been the number one voice, whether you believe he's Mossad or real, for how long? Very long time.
25 years.
And now he's part of this manufactured gayfabe, as far as I'm concerned, that's amplifying the absurd things that the boss is saying on Truth Social.
Yep.
He has been a character in this thing the whole damn time.
Yep.
Candace Owens is the same thing when it comes to Charlie Kirk. The Charlie Kirk thing, to begin with, is part of the show, right? So for her to be doing the same thing, Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump freaking giggled next to golf tournaments together.
Right.
Like how many more people that he's besties with have to come out and be like, let's amplify something Trump said as if it's crap. The whole thing is manufactured. There's no way I can't see it that way. And the only way that I get wrapped up into it is if I don't use that critical thought and allow my emotions to allow them to control my emotions.
It is a giant landmine of truth for the Alex Jones crowd. It is a giant. He is Donald Trump, stood up there in December, bragged about how he took $250 million from the Adelsons. And now all of these optics. And what are the chances of this? I guess, Joe, we just guess maybe. Hold on real quick. There's 4 people in particular that we have shown over and over again in the last 2 weeks. Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens. Correct? I think everyone can agree on that. Now, they're not the only 4 out there that are running with this narrative. But those are the 4 that we as Anons have seen the most over and over and over again. Now, does everyone remember what the Streisand effect is? Don't look at this, don't look at this, don't look at this. Everyone's going to look at it.
Yep.
Right? Dan Bongino a few weeks ago raging against Candace Owens. What did it do? It drove up her views by 5 million.
Yep.
Patrick, just start reading the beginning of that.
You bet. Donald Trump on Truth Social. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. Everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they got some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't
stop there. You can stop there.
I know he sounds like a mean girl.
Now, we are to believe that the man that has spent the last 10 years moving the entire world away from television is making fun of these people because they're not on television. Does that track, folks?
No,
not at all.
He sounds like Mark Levin.
The man that built both of his presidential campaigns, especially the last one, on the backs of podcasts, is saying that they're not good enough to be on television. Does that make any sense? No. Now, Patrick, read the yellow box there.
You
on
bet.
the right, please.
Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax.
Stop there. Joe, do you really believe for a minute that we know more about Sandy Hook, by the way, which is referenced in the Q drops, than Donald Trump?
No, we do not.
What does this tell you, Joe?
I got to ask you a question. Do you not find it rich that someone that Anons were led to believe was Mossad is insinuating that the president is owned by Israel?
Right.
Very, very ironic.
And you know it's even more ironic? This little montage right here.
Mention the name, but a woman who I saw the other night on television just ripped some poor idiot apart. Megan Kelly is here, and she's doing. Come up, come up here, Megan. By the way, I'm having a great time up here. Are you having a good time? This guy. Is he the greatest interviewer? Candace Owens, I watched her and I saw her coming. I said, you know, I'm pretty good at star power. I say, that's a star. I just want to finish by saying your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed.
Donald Trump, let me say this. My audience, I'd say 90% supports you. Okay.
Right.
And you definitely have shown your knowledge of geopolitical systems.
I can't stand him. I can't stand. Oh, never mind. Don't invite me on, Alex.
I would go on Alex Jones.
I would too. I'm just kidding.
But I would be. They wouldn't broadcast the shit I say though.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to hear from me either.
Like, okay, Bill. You just begin every sentence with, "Okay, Bill."
Could this get any more obvious?
Not to the. I almost said dopes. Normies.
It's not supposed to.
Yeah.
They need to listen to them. They need to think. They need to get mad about Israel leading our country around. And Donald Trump is throwing himself under the bus. But you know what's interesting? There is a group of influencers that are paid by Israel. And it's not any of those four.
What's happening even within the influencer world, you've got a lawsuit that's just been filed by a bunch of influencers, because remember that Israel said it was leaked that they were going to pay influencers $7,000 a post to shill for Israel. But now there's a lawsuit that says we never got paid. We're owed this money. How embarrassing that not only did you take $7,000 a post to say that Israel was great, but now you're having to sue for the money? What we just saw happen with Candace Owens the other day, right? She's going to turn out this thing on Erica Kirk, Bride of Charlie. Very clever with the name, the Bride of Charlie.
Good production value. There's no doubt about that.
For sure, for sure. But the real story there wasn't even Candace's report. It was all the influencers who word for word started calling her demonic the day that she put out her trailer. The fact they were all using the exact same terminology. So there's something happening right now, Owen, it's almost depressing, because you say, the same junk that existed in mainstream that we were supposed to be breaking away from, we were supposed to be getting free from, we were supposed to have this independence now. Now we have these weird kind of cabals of independent journalists and independent influencers who aren't independent at all. They're all echoing the exact same thing. They're all vying for access. So you have like these battles that are taking place online. It used to be the independents against the corporate media. Well, now the corporate media doesn't even count anymore because no one listens to them. So now it's the independents against the independents. And
so my question is, after everything we've laid out, and with Donald Trump coming out this morning and smashing trust the plan and be careful who you follow, right? And Dan Scavino calling out influencers, who are they really calling out? Is it Candace and AJ and Megan and Tucker? Or is it the other ones that are actually taking money from Israel to shut them up?
I'm actually not kidding. Do you think that the society's being driven to talk to real people like us?
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually not kidding at all, right? So
No, you're not kidding, but that
media is dead. The influencer level is now being exposed. And what's left after that, but real, we would be one of a million of real people that are giving real opinions, like their real research without nobody's paying us, right? There's no corporate anything. We have no team. We do this on our own, and we're not the only ones. Like I said, there's millions of us.
Yeah.
Is there a way that people are being driven back to having real conversations with real people?
Yes. Remember, though, the ones that are being lambasted right now, the ones taking the money from Israel, etc., they put on the mantle of being unfunded by big donors themselves. They all put on the we're independent routine. So I would argue that there will always be a corrupt element in media who will do anything to spread money around to get their message out. The question is, are those deep-pocketed people being driven to bankruptcy? Because I think that's got to be part of the plan.
Oh, I would agree. I actually, you know what, Patrick, I got to pull something up here. So why don't we do a little palate cleanser right now? Because there's one other thing I do want to show people on this that will give people an idea that people are seeing through this BS. But my computer crashed before. I got to pull it up. So Patrick, if you would, please.
I absolutely certainly would. Actually, I just need 1 second. Didn't know it was going to happen this early. Yeah. So, guys, well, you know something? I want to talk about. We're doing a very special episode to. Okay, ready, set, go. Guys, I want to talk to you about Castor Blend from tulipblooms.shop. This is an amazing product. There's Castor Blend, which is 40% of this amazing skin serum, but it's not thick and pancake batter like castor oil is. I've been putting it on my face for years now. My wife, when I first started using it, accused me of doing Botox on my forehead. It actually smoothed out my wrinkles. And we do this with a bunch of extra carrier oils that really change the effect. And that's argan oil, amaranth oil, apricot kernel oil, and finally the amazing sea buckthorn berry oil. All of these contain a lot of bioidentical fatty acids that genuinely repair the skin. So do what I did. Go to tulipblooms.shop right now and get your hands on the Castor Blend. We have the 2 ounces or the 4 ounces and an amazing assortment of essential oil blends, every single one of which is the best in its class worldwide. Go to tulipblooms.shop today, get the Castor Blend, and use promo code CHANNEL17 at checkout for 10% off. tulipblooms.shop. Your skin will thank you.
Thank you, brother.
I completely misplaced my script for that.
Hey, Dave.
That was 100% impromptu. Once
Dave,
I realized I wasn't going to have a script.
I want to take the liberty. It's Saturday night, just real quick, and encourage everybody. Hey, we had a huge spike in viewership this week, Dave's channel and mine, and that's because you guys hit that positive affirmation button. It's because of the engagement. All right, so I just want to encourage everybody, if you're watching, to hit the thumbs up on Rumble, take that red pill and pill to hit the heart, drop a comment, share the show on X and Facebook. So thank you guys for doing that. And I just wanted to give you a shout out for helping us grow the way that we are. So
Absolutely. We are blessed. Second sponsor is Ghost Phone. I have mine right here. I've been talking about this for a couple weeks. I'm going to run this. It's only through Rumble. So unfortunately, if you're on Rambo's channel or Pilled, you're not going to see it. But we will be back in exactly 1 minute. And I know that Rumble is working very hard to integrate this thing so it's not so choppy. But 1 minute, we'll be right back. All right. Our thanks to our friends over at Ghost Phone. This is what it looks like. Pretty cool. I did an experiment last week, Joe, when we were down the Keys. I actually set up half my social media on here and half on my iPhone. And wouldn't you know it, when I got back, all of my feeds on my iPhone were loaded with like hotels and stuff and advertisements from the Keys. And this didn't have any. So it does work. Admittedly, I still have my iPhone because my whole life is on there. But if you have kids or somebody older and somebody that's an Android user, this is a really cool option. And it is less than half the cost of a new iPhone or a comparable Android, whatever their top model is right now. So if you guys are on the other channels, you want to check that out. It's ghostphone.co/treason. And you can use promo code treason for $50 off. I want to go back. Go ahead, Joe.
I want you to know that 60 seconds takes like 4 years off my life every time you do it.
I just go pee.
It kills me. No, I can't. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, oh, everybody stay. Please hang out with this. Please hang out with this. Please hang out with this.
It's mostly the Rumble people who are getting to see the ad, and everybody else just has to sit there in silence.
But my Rumble doesn't see it. Yeah.
His Rumble doesn't see it.
Oh.
It's 60 seconds worth of the worst anxiety I've ever felt.
I think you're exaggerating.
Yeah.
That's true.
At some point, it will be fully integrated. Unfortunately, this is what Rumble has done right now, but again, they are doing a lot of things to make things better for all of us. So we bear with it right now. I want to go back very quickly just to wrap up on this whole influencer thing. Now, look, Jack Posobiec, I don't know I have no idea if he's being operated or not. I don't know. He's former naval intelligence. He's with Bannon all the time. Then he says a lot of weird things. It doesn't matter, but I want to show you the point I'm making about people seeing through this stuff and how effective it is when people see what Ben Swan was talking about, like the coordinated messaging. So where have we seen that the most? Probably with Charlie Kirk. That's why he referenced it. So this is a video that Posobiec put up yesterday. Guys, just let me know if you got sound on this. And then we'll look at some of the comments here. This is what I really want to point out. Let's see.
People who don't think that Tyler Robinson murdered Charlie Kirk. And it's really simple. If you don't think that he murdered Charlie Kirk, then why haven't his parents come out and said anything? Because they turned him in. It wasn't the FBI. It wasn't Kash Patel. It wasn't Dan Bongino. It wasn't Utah law enforcement. It was his parents. So his parents turned him in. They're the ones who identified him. They're the ones who identified the gun. And if you're so sure that it wasn't Tyler Robinson, why do you think his parents haven't said anything? Nobody ever answers this question. And by the way, if you're also so sure, then why don't you go and ask his parents yourself? I haven't seen anyone even try to do this.
I know why.
Wait, give me his parents' number.
Because his parents don't freaking exist, Jack.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Mr. Posobiec, I would love to have you on my show, except for that that was bullshit.
Well, and if you, I'm not going to waste your time doing it, but he is one of the crew. Like I said, I don't know whether he's pushing the PSYOP or he's being exposed in the PSYOP. I don't care. But he's part of that group that anytime somebody comes out, Candace Owens, like I looked at his feed today, there was like 25 posts in a row about Charlie Kirk. It's just like Tyler Robinson, this is the guy, don't look anywhere else, and people are seeing through it. Look at the comments here. Billy Webb, didn't you already post this exact thing over a month ago? And didn't I ratio you super hard? Fine, I'll do it again. Brandy and I spoke to the Robinson family, and they don't believe that he is capable of this. His dad did not turn him in. The entire narrative is fed soup. I've seen firsthand, you ask this exact question, and people give you the answers, and you refuse to listen. Come on, man. You know why. Why are you asking disingenuous questions? It goes on and on. How do you memorize that?
Because he's playing a role.
That's what I believe. You are slow, Jack. We all know this. I know the official narrative is false because I've hunted all my life and I know exactly what a 30-6 entry. Bro, are you retarded? These are all lies, proven lies. The family denies your BS.
He's
on
not
and on and on.
slow. He's not slow. Can everybody just acknowledge something? Jack Posobiec's a smart young man.
How do you know that? All I know is that he's an actor.
Dude, he was naval intelligence, dude.
It's
the character is a smart man. Yeah.
The character is a smart man.
The man
actors are notoriously retarded.
Correct. Right. He's playing a character.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. That's where
He's
I
not
tend to lean.
stupid. He's not stupid. If we were to sit and hang out with him in a skiff where no one was recording, this is not what he would say.
Especially if I was torturing him.
How about another comment? How about this? When exactly is Erica's birthday, Jack? And on and on and on. Stop playing stupid. You know better. You were never Charlie's friend. You get the idea, guys. Yeah, I have one question on a single person has answered. If you disassemble that rifle and reassemble it, the sighting 100% off. How did he sight it back to zero and reassemble it? On and on and on.
I can't believe this.
Why aren't you inviting a complete and full investigation? Everyone with a functioning brain does not believe the story the feds are telling.
Okay, there we go. You know what? This is such a feature, not a bug. We're going to do PSYOPs after PSYOPs after PSYOPs, and we're going to make sure they're all Three Stooges level clumsy.
I was about to give up on X, and I think that I think I was just I believe it was just reborn in my passion.
Thanks, Fed guy. You are lying. POSOIBIEC.
People are so funny.
This is amazing, guys.
But this is what all of this accomplishes, right? The first hour and a half that we've done. I hope people are starting to see this is you cannot tell the people, you have to show them. So you set up a really bad psyop, and then you make it very obvious that anybody questioning said sloppy psyop is working on the same team, and that's the result you get. Nobody has to stand up there and say, hey guys, it's all fake. Hey guys, no, everyone, all these people reach their conclusion, and these are not anons, by the way. There's really no, I didn't find anybody in here saying he's not dead. I just found people saying, no, you are leading us down the wrong path. And then you got guys like Joe Kent out there who had the highest level of clearance, director of National Counterintelligence Center, saying that they had foreign influence into it that the FBI didn't investigate. They're feeding it, and they're letting everyone reaching these conclusions on their own. They're letting everyone kind of fall into who is lying to them, who is telling the truth, and who is running protection for the liars.
Sparkly
comment section is crazy based. They're not us based, but they're close to the truth. They just don't know it yet.
And I'm telling you, I actually haven't done this in a while, but there was a time about a year ago where a lot of my shows, I used to go in and I used to tell people, in fact, the audience used to get mad at me because I kept saying, read the comments, read the comments. Go into some of the videos of one of these people, a Pasobic or anybody else. Oh God, go into, what's that dude? The dude that was in that opening video with the yarmulke. Israel dude.
He was AI.
No.
Oh my God.
And it,
Shapiro?
Yeah,
Shapiro. Go in and read his comments when he goes after Candace Owens, and you'll find the same shit. People
go
are
into
seeing
Candace
through
Owens,
it.
go into Candace Owens, and you'll see stuff that'll blow your mind.
Candace Owens got purchased by a British lord.
Candace Owens got purchased by Donald Trump.
They all did. And by purchased, I mean indicted.
So all they are doing is amplifying the messaging over and over and over and over and over again.
There's just no way it's not coordinated at this point. Influencers are the big talking point while we're have the straight of whatever happened to Nancy Guthrie.
Come on,
what
Joe. That was so last month.
Yeah, what
we're like 9 psyops beyond that now.
Right. Where is she? If the glove must have fit, then it must have disappeared.
You wait. No, you must have quit. You must have quit. That's
OJ. This time it just vanished.
I don't know what to say, Joe. I really want to know what happened to that nice lady.
Yeah. What happened to the insurance guy that got
She's
shot?
hanging out with Charlie Kirk down in Valhalla somewhere.
God, that place must be awesome.
Or she's in Gitmo, or she was a criminal. She had some pretty shady connections, so who knows? Dude, she ain't in the back of a van tied up somewhere. I could promise you that, and she never was.
Do you know what I've learned? The biggest lesson I've learned, Patrick, is we as a society as a whole, are goldfish.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Next shiny thing. We forget all about the shiny thing yesterday. New shiny thing. We all overreact in 3 seconds. Takes 78 hours. And then next we know, new shiny thing. And no one remembers like the Joe Biden administration and the auto pen. And Donald Trump is the master, the literal master of putting this in your face, pulling away, putting new things in your face, reminding you of what happened. It's just this. Think waves, optics that are smashing us in the face until we wake the hell up and do something about it.
Yep.
Do what?
I don't know at this point because
well, I can tell you what it is with this. They're is saving Israel for last. Every damn thing that's going on right now, Charlie Kirk, Butler, the Iran war, the Epstein files, every last one of them points back to Israel. And we are right now working on getting the public at large, or at least some critical mass of it, to believe they want the public to believe that Donald Trump started a war because he's controlled by Israel. That's his plan right now.
Real question. How many people you think in this chat even remember that there was a second assassination attempt on the golf course?
I remember.
Yeah, but I'll bet you most people, until I just said that, they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And did you see the freaking guy who supposedly did it? What was that?
Oh, he had, what did he have? 17 cell phones, I believe they said.
Yep.
No, that was in one of the stories. He had 17 cell phones. I don't forget these things. And for the people that are still struggling with what I just said, let me ask you this. Let's say this war didn't break out. Okay? Now, Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, throw JFK Jr. in there, and some dudes from the military call a press conference and say, let me tell you a story. You know those forever wars we had that cost us $19 trillion and ruined an entire generation of poor military people, and 9/11? Yeah, by the way, that was because Israel controlled all our presidents. Have a good day. Would anybody freaking buy that?
No. And I don't even think it's Israel. I think it's Israel as a proxy.
Correct. Yes. But if they stood up there with a giant chart like Joe loves showing on his podcast, and they mapped out the Adelsons and their connection to Mossad and Bibi, and then how that connects to the Maxwells and that Epstein, and then Epstein blackmailed the government, and who the frick would buy that? But if you're sitting there and you start hearing rumblings that there's a really unpopular war and you're struggling to pay for gas, and you start stumbling across some podcasts and some loud voices like a Tucker Carlson is saying, hey, did you know this about AIPAC? And hey, did you know this about the Adelsons? And hey, maybe things aren't the way you think they are, and maybe even Donald Trump is controlled by this powerful entity. Do you think that might work? I don't know. I'm just speculating.
So frustrating. It's getting frustrating.
Is it?
I don't know about that. I think it all makes sense when you put it that way.
No, the messaging's not. It's the acceptance, the societal acceptance that's frustrating.
But isn't it? Isn't it being accepted?
I think it is being accepted, though.
You know, look at those comments. Granted, they think Taylor Robinson's a real person, but can't expect everything.
Okay.
Listen to Joe Rogan. Again, the largest broadcast. This is 20 million people. As far as I know, is the largest broadcast that goes out every week. Listen to what he's talking about.
I think that this war is entirely started because of the Epstein files.
I mean,
what percentage? 50?
I'm going 48 to 50. I probably more, but I think it's like the reason I'm hesitating is because what are the Epstein files are what's been going on. Like the Epstein files are like it's basically some kind of cultural UAP video. It's like this thing you've always wondered about or been afraid could be true.
Right.
You see, no, this is actually true. They're these super rich dudes who are doing depraved fucking shit happily. And like, God, what is it Metzger told me? And he, dude, I'm telling you, man, what I love about him is he'll tell you shit and you're like, Google that. That can't be real. And then it's like, bleh, it's real. Yeah. And so his take, sorry, Metzger, if I fuck this up, is that Epstein was kind of like the hand of the king for the Rothschilds. And that,
what?
So that's why he had all this power, is he was like representing like the man, and so what got revealed there might just be a glimpse of how things actually fucking work.
Would that, Joe, 2 seconds. I'll ask the audience. Would that conversation on the largest, most influential podcast on planet Earth be happening if they didn't run the influencer wars psyop? The Trump is controlled. Would that conversation be happening?
No, absolutely not. And Rogan, God bless you for, I guess, following orders.
Dave asked my question. I got nothing else to say.
I'm sorry, bro.
Why did that guy have a woman's? Why did that guy with the beard have a woman's voice? That was weird.
Mike Tyson's the toughest man on the planet.
Dude, Joe, I hear you. I'm not saying I never get frustrated, but like that kind of shit makes me really happy.
Yeah.
Like from where we were a few years ago, you have guys like Joe Rogan every day talking to 20 million people, and they're talking about the Rothschilds and Epstein controlling the world. That's a big freaking deal.
I concur.
Maybe it's just me.
No, I think you're right. I was gonna, dude. If I wouldn't have done it better than you. You did it better than I would have. I would have asked the same question. It's insanity.
What does Rothschild mean in German?
It's a good question.
Red Shield. I've always thought of that family as being like the final shield for the real controllers. They're not the actual controllers. They're the shield.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I agree with the sentiment. The Rothschilds, but it's cool that society is being introduced to the shield. I agree with you, Patrick. I think Rothschild's a puppet. I think there's names above him that are not nearly as well known.
And how about the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Sure. But Patrick, do you remember, I don't know, what was it? February, maybe February, March, January, February, when all the Epstein stuff started blowing up, and people were getting very frustrated because we haven't gotten to the children part or the really disgusting part yet. All we were getting was guys like Mendelsohn, and we were saying, no, think about what they're doing here. They're pointing the eyes to the bigger crimes, right? Espionage, treason, governmental control of the Supreme Court. They're spreading the picture wider now for people. And now a conversation like that makes people start to think that, wait a second, this whole little Epstein Island thing is a lot bigger than just an island and Bill Clinton doing things with underage children. That to me is why the conversation is so important. And at the same time that people are starting to connect dots on Israel, it all friggin' fits together.
Whatever came of the Clintons showing up in Congress and being questioned about the blue dresses?
Nothing. Which is going to piss people off more. Manufactured outrage.
Whatever happened to Hunter showing up late and then disappearing, and now he lives in another country? Like, people don't realize they're being chipped away at. They're being chipped away at psychologically to emotionally tie you to something, to get you pissed off so that you have these conversations. Things that before, do we ever? I realize that this is now what we do. But there's never been a time in history where all this stuff was talked about on this level.
No. And it's increasing every week. But it's being pushed along by PSYOPs. And I'll just say this. I'm not saying I'm 100% in love with the way they do this day in and day out. But if it results in conversations like that, I don't give a, you know what? Joe, you ever watch you're a sports guy too, right? You ever watch a hockey game or a football game? Or I know you played lacrosse, right? Like a game you played and the team's running a play and you're like, no, don't do it that way. And then they score anyway and you win. Do you really care at the end of the day?
Nope. You won.
That's what we're doing right now. We're watching a sporting event, and we're screaming at the television, going, "Don't do it that way!" But yet we're scoring and winning anyway.
Bro, there's something to be said about that. Okay, look, I bring this one up all the time too, but I'm gonna bring it up again. Tucker interviewed, what's his face? Come on, I say it all the time. Somebody help me here.
Spacey?
Yeah, Spacey. And they talked about melding reality with art. And there's something crazy that comes along when that happens. Donald Trump's using sports like crazy. We have the Olympics. We have the World Cup. We're literally having a fist fight on the front lawn of the White House. A fist fight. Think about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is they are just it's in every way, shape, or form they're reaching society as a whole. I mean, this goes back to Greek times and the Colosseum and using, people that were fighting lions to grab the attention of society.
Yep. Joe, in my chat over here, Lori Bino, I just happened to look over and notice this. Why do you think the cabal is allowing us to reveal all this stuff? Just a question. They've been in charge for centuries. You don't think they planned on this? That's a question and an answer at the same time. That's an answer to who's in control.
Yeah, the car race. The car race. Yeah, you're right, Dave.
By the way, Joe, there's just one more thing. This happened to grab my attention this week. I wanted to show this on Tuesday, and I forgot about it. But man, with all this stuff happening with the influencer wars and them seeming to ramp up their rhetoric on the media, CNN crimes, and all these other things that are going on, you want to talk about a throwback? Do you remember the grab 'em by the you know what video? That was 10 years ago.
Cooter. That was that long ago?
It was 2016.
Billy Bush.
Yeah.
Why is Billy Bush talking about this now, 10 years later, as the media is all getting exposed?
Determination to find something.
Yeah.
Imagine going around asking that question: who has something? Who has, like, there's evil in that.
ABC
even
News
if it's
had
somebody
a
that we
division.
don't like.
They had a division dedicated with 75 people in it, because I know the guy who ran the division, which was dedicated to basically getting him. Wow. And all the big network news did. I understand all of that. Like, what you can do, they have a voice, and different networks have different voices.
They what? The networks had a division dedicated to getting Trump? Well, that's news to me.
That's not news to me. That's
No.
what they. Yeah, I see what you're saying. They've made that uber obvious.
You know who made it uber obvious, Joe? Remember that kid in the basement that put this thing up and it said, these are reporters and networks that have been named in the WikiLeaks files to have colluded with the DNC or Hillary campaign during the 2016 election cycle. That's D-class.
Early D-class.
Can we just acknowledge one more time, for the 117th time, that something bigger than Donald Trump is doing this?
I don't think you could acknowledge that enough, Joe.
There's something behind that man, right? You guys know what I'm insinuating. Military intelligence. I was asked by certain generals. General Keith Kellogg was one of those that was there. He was there before I ran. He asked me to run. The Drops asked, what with certain assurances, would you win? Donald Trump is the face of a thing that's going on right now on the planet, not just America, that's literally taking down all corruption within our own borders, global restructuring, financial restructuring, child trafficking, human trafficking. Every single thing, for the first time in human history, is now on the tip of the tongue. Fraud. Look what's going on in California. That was scripted. We went to Minnesota, now it's California. Who doesn't say New York's definitely next? Let's just all call that out.
Oh, yeah.
Mom Donnie and his trash bags are next on the list.
Why are you talking about his trash bags? What am I missing?
In Christmas time, he had a bunch of
He
trash bags.
didn't pick up the trash for like a month.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, as soon as he got in office, he was like, yeah, you can just leave all that trash on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Yeah. We had the fires in California. We had the fires in Hawaii. We have the train that never got completely built between two big cities in California. We broke in, we invaded, and now we got fraud that's being exposed in California. The whole thing is so scripted on the public disclosure aspect that it's retarded.
Joe, speaking of the train, did you see the news story that came out this week that they said if they want to complete that railway in California, that it's going to cost $126 billion. That is so ridiculous. It's insulting.
Yeah. We're Patrick, we're building a big, beautiful ballroom. That's a military base. That nobody, why is nobody talking about that?
And Donald Trump is putting his signature on the currency, where the treasurer goes, and he's telling the new Fed chair that he may have to work in the basement of the White House.
I don't understand. Where did the ballroom get called a military base?
Oh, see,
it's let me see if I have the video here.
This is so funny to me, Patrick. While he's pulling that video up, it came out here just a few weeks ago that there's everybody was like, why are they digging so deep?
And Trump just Sunday night on his way back from, I guess he stopped at the FedEx Kinko's down here on his way to the airport, and he just happened to have this whole thing ready on the plane.
The military is building a big complex under the ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. But the military is building a massive complex under the ballroom, and that's under construction, and we're doing very well. So we're ahead of schedule. That's part of it. The ballroom essentially becomes a shed for what's being built under the military, including from drones and including from any other thing. The glass on the windows, you see the big windows, the glass is extremely thick. It's high-grade bulletproof glass, so all of the windows are bulletproof. I think the Times wrote, gee, some of the windows are fake. We have no fake windows. They talked about a stairway in the south. We don't have a stairway in the south. That was replaced a long time ago. But this is a view of it from the north, and that's, if you see it, it fits in with the White House. It's almost a twin to the White House. It's something we just wanted to pay tribute to the White House.
Now, Patrick, before we keep going, that's the same week that he said this.
To maybe $4 billion and a building that may never be occupied by Kevin Warsh. He may never get there. We're going to have to find him some space in the White House. We'll put him in the basement of the ballroom. but when
I think I have a pretty good idea as to what's going to end up in the basement of that ballroom. Just saying.
Holy freaking crap! Okay, so this is your justification for saying it's a military base because it has a big ass basement.
He literally said it was being designed and put together because of a silly lawsuit. He has to admit, even though he paid for the whole thing, by the way, right?
Okay.
This was a donation from Donald Trump and his family. The taxpayer's not paying $1, but the military's building a base underneath the big, beautiful ballroom BBB. And no one's talking about that because we're going, whoops-a-daisy, influencers.
Artemis.
right, red balloons.
Or how do people reconcile this? This was his post on March 31st when they stopped construction on the ballroom for like a day. So you can see he's talking about the National Trust for Historic Preservation sues me for the ballroom. And then he does a weave within, he weaves when he talks. He does a weave in this truth. And in the middle of it, it says, yet the National Trust for Historic Preservation, a radical left group of lunatics whose funding was stopped by Congress in 2005, is not suing the Federal Reserve for a building which has been decimated and destroyed inside and out by an incompetent and possibly corrupt Fed chairman. The once magnificent building is billions over budget, may never be completed, and may never open. Why?
We're talking about the Federal Reserve Building. I saw it in 2023. It was a junk heap.
Yeah. Damn thing's been closed for going. The damn thing's been closed for what? 6 years now?
I can't believe
COVID?
this.
Can we go back to something Donald Trump said prior to this whole affair? We're gonna take kid gloves and we're gonna completely remake Washington D.C. It's gonna be beautiful. We're gonna get rid of crime. And then we had people like Richard Citizen Journalist and what's her face, Nancy Drew, go around and show construction, the closing of McDonald's, et cetera, the whole time Joe Biden was in office. We're going to take kid gloves and we're going to. It's
surprisingly good Trump.
Right.
You've got a pretty good Trump, Joe.
It's hard to get the spray
hell of a lot better than my Trump
off of the stones because they're very porous. We have porous stones.
I love it, dude.
Spray paint on the porous stones. It takes a lot of work. We're going to fix it. Kid gloves. We're going to fix this. Nobody's ever seen anything like this before.
So good.
We've been being told this for 8 years now, and they're doing it.
And all that was happening within 3 days of Trump announcing that he's putting his signature on the currency on the exact 6-year delta of the day that we believe he nationalized the Fed. I don't know. That's probably all just coincidence, right?
I got one more thing that I think the military being underneath the big, beautiful ballroom is important for. Do you remember when Donald Trump took office? We got story after story about it being bugged. It took weeks. They had to go through the whole building, try to get rid of all of the devices that were listening and tracking and whatever. Well, if you were to take, who would be doing that but 3-letter agencies that were rogue, working for politicians that were under the control of some foreign entity, right? We've talked about foreign influence ad nauseum at this point. Okay, well, how do you, maybe Article 2, maybe, take over those investigations, those rogue elements, but military intelligence? Well, now you have a military force literally under the White House.
What was mentioned 3 times in the Delta and the drops that we saw from Scavino and Trump 3 times already in this show? Oh yeah, military intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
You know how else you could do it?
Proud I am of the almost 25,000 National Guardsmen who have come in from all 50 states and territories to help support the Secret Service and the police departments with a peaceful transition of military power.
Yeah, that happened too.
Doesn't mean as much until you realize they're building a freaking military base under the White House.
Or a Treasury Department.
Okay, so it's not a ballroom, it's a military base.
The shed, he called it a shed.
There's something important going under there. I wouldn't be surprised I wouldn't be surprised if it's a vault of some kind. I'm only guessing that because of the way he was talking about or giving him an office in the basement. Maybe. I don't know. But the point is there's something under there.
Yeah, but my Alex Jones. What are we talking about? I don't give a shit about Alex Jones.
You sure?
I don't. I do care about the whatever
but
the hell
he's got all the breaking news.
So this is a existential crisis, the very future of this country and the world. And spanking Trump got him back on course a little bit, but now he's doubled down and coming back at us out of frustration and using us as a distraction from his wife that, looking at the tea leaves and the angles, she may not publicly divorce him, but everything I'm seeing looks like she just flew the coop.
Oh God, it's so dumb.
There was like small periods of time in my life where I was like, Alex Jones does pretty good work. Like maybe I should give him a second chance. Maybe he's not Mossad or whatever.
Well, Maybe he's not anymore.
I think he's brilliant at what he does.
I don't think that's the same dude either.
A lot of people say that.
He's an actor. It's all a show. It's a movie. It's a show.
We got to get that guy to visit with us
so badly. Yeah, I'm trying to use Mickey to get a hold of him.
What else we got? Oh, Fartwell got in trouble. Everybody see that?
No.
You want to talk about no? Oh,
I didn't see shit, dude.
You
don't know about Fartwell, bro?
Oh boy.
I know you're talking about Swalwell, so I got that going for me.
All right, you do.
Swalwell's campaign for California governor might be coming to an untimely end. The Democrat congressman has been accused of sexual misconduct by 4 women, including a former staffer who says Swalwell raped her.
I decided to ask him to meet me for a drink. I went to the bathroom and I don't remember anything after that. I remember the next day, I can see flashes of that evening of him on top of me pushing him off, him grabbing me.
Did you say no?
Yes, I said no.
And what did he do?
He didn't stop.
He didn't stop.
Well, now the Manhattan DA is investigating those allegations while prominent Democrats are withdrawing their endorsements or calling for Swalwell to drop out of the race, including Nancy Pelosi, who said the serious allegations against Swalwell must be heard. But the California congressman is denying the claims against him.
These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They're absolutely false. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position.
But now Swalwell's past comments about assault are coming back to haunt him.
For Brett Kavanaugh's sake, if he is innocent, I hope tomorrow he opens his statement and says, you know what? Bring in all the victims, allow them to be heard, allow them to be questioned. That will clear his name if he's indeed innocent. And if he's not, for the sake of the credibility of the court, I hope that the senators would vote against him.
Dude, you want to talk about a boomerang? I don't know how many people remember that he was in the middle of that whole Kavanaugh, Blasey Ford psyop that they ran.
Kavanaugh, that did so much work in getting me more awake than I was before Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
And
For anybody that doesn't remember who Eric Swalwell is, it's this guy.
So far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans all last week was that you
it's this guy too.
What in the hell is this? The chairman tweets, protect our ducks and kittens in Ohio because he goes down some crazy rabbit hole, completely debunked that aliens are eating pets. Oh my God. Are you okay, Mr. Chairman? Because last year, for a very long time, you tweeted and promoted Kanye West as he was calling for genocide against the Jews, and you kept it up. And now, when we have victims coming here, you're tweeting this nonsense. I don't know why you would do this. I hope you're okay. I don't know if the aliens who are eating your ducks are in the room with us right now, but Mr. Chairman, this is a serious issue. These people have loved ones who have been lost, and you tweeted this.
Hey, guys, I don't think you can rape anybody if you don't have a dick.
We didn't even get into the Chinese spy stuff.
Fang Fang was out of his league, but still not that hot.
Eric, remember when you slept with that Chinese spy, Eric? Why don't you ever talk about that, Fang Fang? Remember you're banging Fang Fang? Did she give you anal? People are saying that she gave you an insertion. Is that true? This is the guy's banging Chinese spies. Nobody investigates you, Eric. Why is that? Nobody investigates this guy banging Chinese spies like it's no big deal.
I can't. Freaking Alex. What the?
Oh God!
How is he even allowed to do this shit? How is he allowed to do that, dude? If I tried to pull that crap, I would be tackled by 9 dudes, all of whom could kick my ass individually.
Dude, when we were at the White House, Alex Stein was my favorite picture. I love that guy. He was very funny. Go ahead.
Joe. So the same dude that farted on the air.
My face hurts.
Was honeypotted by a Chinese spy, and was in Congress talking about ducks and aliens. Is now has raped. Like, what am I looking at, Joe? What am I looking at?
My man banged Chinese spies. He farted on screen. He's now all tied up with hookers. He's running for governor in California that we invaded, attacked, and broke into for Donald Trump.
Wait,
that stuff all blows my mind. Almost
running?
as if he's another Tim Walz, right? This is obviously a character that's being declassed, right? Dave, I'll throw it back to you.
No, that's what I wanted you. There's no way this is all real. There's just no way, dude. There's no way.
There's
all
not
of
a
this
single
is
video
real.
that can be said, okay, well, this video is not AI. We're past that.
I just think it's a like Joe said, I think it's a well scripted character. And let me tell you another. This could be stretchy, but I'm just going to show you what I stumbled across today. Look, how many times, Joe, do we track comms and they don't mean anything? And then that whole thing, what do they say? Future proves past. You're like, holy crap, they were telling us this is coming. Okay. So he's running for, what state is he running for governor in?
That's California.
California. Okay. So I went and I looked at Donald Trump's True Social this morning and I was like, let me see if he talked about Swalwell at all. So these are the last 4. 2023, 2024, and then he didn't say anything about him for a year and a half until February 8th of 2026. And he's talking about the California governor's race, Eric Swalwell accused of lying. Then he didn't say anything until just last week, April 2nd. And he's talking about Victor Davis Hanson reveals he was approached by a Chinese operative, Fang Fang, but didn't fall for it like idiot Eric Swalwell. So my man says nothing. He loves to go after Swalwell. He didn't say anything about him for 18 months. And all of a sudden, April 2nd, just a few days ago, he's talking about Swalwell. But then we got Flotus. Smoking Flotus, as Absolute Storm calls her. And we know she almost never posts on X. She posts maybe once a month.
Okay.
So usually when she does, there's comms baked into it. So I went and I looked at her post this week because she broke the internet when she started talking about Epstein. I'm like, let me just see if there's anything there on the timestamp that might give us an indication. Now, keep in mind, this was a day before the Swalwell news broke, when Melania came out on April 9th, 1 week after Trump posted about Swalwell. She posted at 3:56. That is 15:56 military time, and look at the middle of it. Running for California governor, question mark?
Get what you got, just give me that! Just give me that! Just give me that! Give me
What?
That's a banger, bro. Come on.
But now I want to find out more about Amanda Renteria. Bridge, LL, and HR.
Trump talks about Swalwell. She hits a running for California. And then Swalwell gets rung up for rape.
Yeah. Yeah. How?
What?
Oh man.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he didn't rape anybody.
Right.
I think he raped everybody.
I also think that Chinese spies are smart enough not to be named Fang Fang.
Yeah. Hide your kids, hide your wives, and hide your husbands because Swalwell's raping everybody out here.
You know what Chinese spies are named? They're named William Smith, and they're white. That's what Chinese spies actually look like.
I would agree. You know what? I got something very quick that I want to go through, but I think it's important. It's not nearly as funny as any of this stuff. It's actually kind of dry, but I still think it's important. Joe and I noticed this when we were down in the Keys last weekend. We were looking at Donald Trump's Truth Social, and he made a couple of posts about the climate agenda. Right, the first one on 4/6, and it says it says in New York Times, by the way. So for the Times to be admitting this is pretty wild to me. Trump allies near total victory in wiping out the U.S. climate regulation. A small group of conservative activists have worked for 16 years to stop all government efforts to fight climate change. Their efforts seem poised to pay off. We've done enough shows on how dangerous the climate agenda was. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But right after that, go ahead, Patrick. I'm sorry.
It is absolutely enormous. And Trump just goes full based and he calls climate change a hoax, which it is.
Yep. It also was interesting. I just have this in here that also hit a Godspeed drop, which, Joe, if you remember, we got a bunch of those last week around the Artemis thing. So that's just a throw in. This is where it gets interesting. Trump's about to cancel Obama's most outrageous power grab. And this was a minute later, just a minute after the last one I showed you. That was 3:53. This is 3:54. And he puts done, exclamation point. Patrick, can you read the right side, please?
President Trump is on the brink of ordering a massive policy shakeup, the largest act of deregulation in the history of the United States, says Environmental Protection Agency Chief Lee Zeldin. When Trump's EPA orders the end of a 2009 finding that greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide are a threat to public health, it will halt 16 years of federal efforts to mandate vast changes in American life without legal justification. So-called endangerment finding led to a host of regulations whose estimated costs exceeded $1 trillion.
Big deal, right?
Very, very big deal.
Yeah.
But does everyone remember how this all got set up? Everyone remember a little thing called the Chevron deference?
Absolutely. Huge deal.
Who was president when that got overturned?
Trump. No, Biden.
Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Optically, Biden.
June 28, 2024. Supreme Court strikes down Chevron, curtailing the power of federal agencies, right? So this is so important, right? Because this is another one of those things, along with overturning Roe versus Wade, affirmative action, all these things that were done while Biden was in office, so nobody would lose their shit and saying Trump's doing it. And they set this up, which clipped the power of all the administrative agencies. Now, at the time, a lot of people were like, oh, that's great, all the rules are gone. No, you have to now go in and undo all those rules, which he is very quickly doing. So, Patrick, I just have 1.5 slides here. I think it's important. Let's just read through how what happened 2 years ago is affecting what he's able to do now.
1, what Chevron deference actually did before 2024. For about 40 years under Chevron versus NRDC, Supreme Court decision from 1984, if a law passed by Congress was ambiguous, courts would defer to a federal agency's interpretation of that law as long as it was reasonable. That meant agencies like the EPA, FCC, Department of Education, etc., had broad flexibility to interpret statutes and create policy through regulations. 2, what the Supreme Court changed in 2024 in Loper Bright Enterprises versus Raimondo, 2024, the court overturned Chevron, key shift. Courts must now use their own independent judgment about what a law means. They cannot defer to agencies just because a statute is ambiguous. In effect, power moved from agencies to courts. Agencies lost their automatic advantage in legal disputes. 3, what this means in practice. After Chevron's fall, A, regulations are easier to challenge. Courts can now say, we think agency interpreted the law wrong. B, agencies must point to clear congressional authorization. If Congress didn't clearly grant the power, courts can strike the rule down. C, judges, not agencies, become the final interpreters of unclear laws. This is a major structural shift in administrative law. 4, why that affects policies like the ones in your article. Even without relying on the article's framing, here's the general mechanism. Policies from prior administrations, Obama, Biden, etc., often relied on broad or creative interpretations of statutes implemented via agency rulemaking, not new laws passed by Congress. Under Chevron, those policies were often upheld because courts said the agency's interpretation is reasonable. 5, after Chevron, how a president can undo them. Once Chevron is gone, a president like Trump has 2 easier paths. 1, courts can strike the policies down. Opponents sue. Courts independently interpret the statute. If they disagree with the agency, the rule is invalid. Example, courts have already begun striking down rules like net neutrality, citing the end of Chevron. 2, the executive branch can reverse interpretations because agencies no longer get strong deference. A new administration can say the prior interpretation of the law was wrong. Courts are now more willing to accept that change since they're not deferring anyway. 6, why commentators call this a power shift. Ending Chevron didn't directly repeal any policy, but it removed the legal shield that protected many regulations, made existing rules more vulnerable, made it easier for courts to invalidate them, new administrations to reinterpret statutes. Bottom line, the overturning of Chevron didn't itself cancel policies. It changed the legal environment so that agency-created policies are easier to challenge and overturn. Presidents have more room to reverse prior regulatory interpretations. Courts, not agencies, now decide what ambiguous laws mean. That's the mechanism linking the Supreme Court decision to claims that a president could undo earlier regulatory power grabs.
That is, in my opinion, just as big, if not bigger, than extending the executive orders that quote unquote Joe Biden did.
Yep. It's a huge deal. And that kind of flew under the radar with all the other stuff going on. That's the kind of stuff he just throws out there on Truth Social sometimes, and it doesn't get noticed. But it was one of the major things that happened during the Biden administration that's allowing him to unwind all this stuff quickly.
Very quickly. And, maybe this entire war is being used as a way of distracting us from these absolutely structural changes in the way the people have a relationship with their government. It is fundamental in nature.
Yeah, Patrick, I wish I had it ready. Maybe if I think of it, we'll pull it up on Tuesday. But there was an article that came out the other day. I believe forgive me if I get this wrong. I believe it was $300 billion slashed off the budget. And the federal employment level is at the lowest level since like the 60s or the 70s, quietly.
Yeah, I saw that.
No one even noticed. Yeah. Think about that.
Well,
and no
I've been
one's
trained
saying
my
anything.
whole life that nothing ever shrinks the federal government. Is this the exception?
Well, you put some, to your point, you put some Epstein files out there, you start an influencer war, and you stage a war over in Iran, and nobody's going to complain about government people losing their jobs. Remember that was happening when he started doing it under Doge, and the media was putting out all these stories about, how dangerous it is to end these agencies and the downstream effects and all that. You're getting none of that right now. And meanwhile, it's down, to your point, the lowest level since 1966. That's a big freaking deal. And no one's paying attention to it. Joe, what else? You got anything else you want to jump into here?
No, I don't have a whole lot to add. I apologize. On Saturday nights, sometimes my son freaks out. So Gitmo wanted to say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Hi. She was screaming from the bedroom. That's why I ran and grabbed her during that last.
I got something funny we can wrap up with. We played one last week, and I don't know, JP Sears is doing some pretty incredible work comedically and bringing attention, kind of the way we started the show, to the whole Israel narrative. So why don't we'll run this. It's a good way to wrap up.
What the hell? This war with Iran is confusing me. Bro, the war is over. It's done. Nope. Israel just pulled us back into it. Never mind. Yeah, what's going on? We're getting all these conflicting messages. I can't even track what's happening. Dude, I've listened to everything. It's pretty straightforward. Explain it to me. And start with, why'd we get into this war in the first place? So, in late March, us and Israel, so mostly us, started attacking Iran to eliminate their nuclear capabilities. Wait, what was that Operation Midnight Hammer thing about last June? That was strikes to eliminate Iran's nuclear capabilities, and that was a great success. After it, Trump declared Iran's nuclear capabilities are 100% gone. Okay, and then we started an all-out war in March to do the same thing we already did? Like, that already doesn't make any sense. Well, not so fast. Well, yes, but the strikes in March killed Iran's supreme leader. We knew that if you kill their leader, then you win the war. So total victory, case closed. All right, then what happened? Well, Iran started retaliating for some reason. Maybe because their leader was killed? Maybe. So the war didn't end again like we thought it would. Like, of course they would retaliate. Yeah, nobody saw it coming. But then, and get this, Iran escalated things by closing the Strait of Hormuz. That was a big deal. Then everybody around the world started freaking out about oil prices. Yeah, so at this point, we're just really in the war. Can't stop even if we wanted to. It's awful. But here's the good news. On March 15th, Trump announced, "We have won. It's a total victory." Well, that's good. And then what happened? The war continued. Oh. But he said total victory. It's more about the journey than the destination. It sounds misleading. But don't worry, because at that time, Iran was negotiating with us on a ceasefire. What came of that? Israel killed Iran's negotiators. So negotiations failed somehow, and fighting continued. Why would Israel do that? But as the war went on, by late March, Iran's military was so weakened that Trump said, and I quote, "They have nothing left. We've knocked out their missiles." At this point, they're basically shooting at our great pilots with BB guns. No match for our beautiful brand new F-35s and F-15s. Well, that's good news. Then what? Iran shot down 2 of our aircrafts. Ironically, an F-35 and an F-15. Did they use BB guns? No, shoulder fire missiles. But Trump said they... Luckily, we rescued all the pilots, though. But if Israel didn't kill the negotiators... Well, I'll tell you who's been a good negotiator in this. Trump. Art of the deal kind of aura he's got. How so? Well, in early April, Trump said that if Iran doesn't reopen the Strait of Hormuz, he's going to knock them back to the Stone Age. What'd Iran do? Yeah, get this. They did not reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Great. But then Trump turned up the negotiating heat on Iran, trying to get them to agree to a ceasefire deal when he said, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again." Game, set, match right there. God, that's genocide. Nope. He was just saying it. Oh, that's a threat of genocide. It's a negotiation tactic commonly used. I've used it. One time I was at a car dealership. They weren't coming down on the price. And I said, "If you don't give me $5,000 off this car, I am killing everyone in this dealership." Did you get the car? No, I got arrested, so it didn't work. It worked for Trump because he got a ceasefire deal out of it, and Iran reopened the Strait of Hormuz. We won. Well, great. So the fighting's over? No, Israel immediately broke the ceasefire deal and pulled us back into the war. What the f*** is wrong with Israel? So the fighting resumed immediately. What the f*** is wrong with us for being allies with Israel? Yeah, our greatest ally. And Iran reclosed the Strait of Hormuz. How will this war ever end? Well, basically, when we can get Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, the war is over. It's complete and total victory. Was the Strait of Hormuz open before the war started? Yes. And the reason they closed it was because the war started? Yeah. And the reason we're still in this war is because we need to get the Strait of Hormuz open. Yeah. Well, what the fuck? Yeah, you get it now. I'm glad I could help clarify. Well, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go pay my taxes to help fund Israel. Life is good. Are we just supposed to be this dumb? Yeah. It's
over the
Oh,
top.
great.
If it's over the top. Look, the absurdity is absurd.
Right.
It's absurd. It's absolutely insane. Put that way, it's comedic gold, and it's completely absurd. They're pointing at something, and
Yeah,
I know that because I secretly, behind society's back, read the Q drops.
Yeah. It's almost like that thing that we were saving for last.
It's weird, right?
Weird how that works.
Wonderful
Anyhow.
how that works.
Yeah.
That's
Well.
why I'm giggling at that video, and everybody else in America that's outside of this chat is like,
Right. Oh man. But thankfully we went to the moon. So we got that going for us.
Yeah,
oh wait, Patrick, I can't wrap up without doing this. So you didn't see any of this reentry?
Nothing.
Oh,
nothing.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
In the 70s, we actually, I'm talking about narrative, right? We actually landed on the moon. Why are we acting like going around it was just as important?
Because we destroyed that technology.
Oh, we forgot about it.
No, Joe, because of what you said earlier in the show, because people are goldfish.
Goldfish.
Look at this.
I can't believe NASA is actually doing this. This is Artemis 2 coming back to Earth. And this is what NASA is showing us. They're showing us a bunch of people in an office, right? This is mission control. And first of all, the lighting is horrible here. And this is what we're getting. We're getting a CGI visualization of the reentry, right? This is it right here. CGI. We're not getting any live footage. This is CGI.
Patrick, it actually said, we were watching this live. It actually says right there at the top left, it said visualization.
Yeah.
So
we're showing you pictures.
Yeah. This is what, if you turned on ABC or NBC or Fox News, it was literally this CGI fireball, and it said right on the damn thing, visualization.
Patrick, can I repeat a question I believe to be logical that I asked last night to you?
Yeah.
If friction is what we're worried about because that's what causes the heat re-entering into the atmosphere, why would we make the point of the craft flat?
The point of the craft is flat. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this burning sperm graphic.
This is the fun.
That's the butt of the craft.
It's the ass end. Yeah.
Well, it's the forward-most part. They're going butt first to the ocean.
Oh, if you were actually going at that speed at reentry, the tip of the module would really need to be blade, like freaking swordfish pointed, as aerodynamic as possible, because you are having to deal with extremely high friction against an environment that you haven't been in because you've been in the vacuum of space. So yeah, the fact that it's shaped the way it is makes no sense whatsoever in the front, which I assume is just a big, obnoxious, dull nose like they always do with the space shuttle.
It's a nose like this with a square top. It's retarded.
That's,
and then
retarded.
So Patrick, to add to what Joe is saying, that you saw the parachutes come out right now. Obviously, the parachutes would have to be stored in the nose of the capsule, right? Well, they told us that Artemis 1, which was the same craft that went up without people, on the way back in, the nose didn't survive the heat. like it was damaged. The heat penetrated the nose, but they didn't change the design of it on this one. They just left it alone and chanced it. That's a really cool story.
Almost like it's the
Part right
challenge.
Yeah.
here. Look, they added stars. I have not seen one single star in this entire mission to the moon. They tell you, oh, well, you can't see the stars because of the sun. And yet right here, these people, they added stars to this visualization of the re-entry of Artemis 2. I'm telling you, these people are out of their minds. They need to try harder. They need to fire the entire staff and record label and crew. They need to do a better job.
Or it was done that way on purpose. I like option B.
Done that way on purpose.
Joe, you muted.
What do you think the freaking end of NASA looks like? And the end of space travel? At some point, it has to be admitted.
It makes zero sense on any logical level. With everything they taught us, if I apply everything I was taught in school, if I apply everything that I've seen with my own two eyes, looking up into space, watching, shooting stars and paying attention and being told that the one thing that moves across the sky is a satellite. If I apply everything that I've ever seen, this is the most fugazi crap I've ever watched.
Yes, sir. I got one more. Let's have a little fun, then we'll wrap up.
Oh, yeah.
I've pulled myself together. Let's address something. About a week ago, I made a video about them going to the moon. And I told everybody I'm one of those to believe we didn't go to the moon. Because there has been proof out there that we have never been to the moon. And Lord, honey child, did y'all give me all the comments. You gave me all your thoughts and opinions. You got this one. Ain't they a Pete? Then you got these. Just love this for me. And y'all kept going on and on and on. Kept squawking, show us proof. We want to see the proof that you're talking about. Okay, so let me ask you this. What kind of proof are you needing? Would proof of the words coming out of Buzz Aldrin's mouth convince you? Because wasn't Buzz Aldrin with Neil Armstrong when they landed on the moon? And there's been multiple times that Buzz himself has said, we've never been to the moon.
Well, let's talk about this, because this is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. See, you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
Well,
oh, but wait. There's more.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we did go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. But I think I know. Because we did.
I mean, if one of the astronauts that apparently went to the moon is out here saying that they never went, I think I'm going to listen to the guy. Okay? And let me tell you this there, sweet cheeks. There's so much more. Y'all need to go do your digging. Why don't you go check out the WikiLeaks files that released everything you need to know about us going to the moon? Okay?
I love the Artemis PSYOP. It's my favorite PSYOP they've run in a long time.
I actually found myself falling in love with her, but I would never date her. She scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, she's a bitch, dude. Yeah. Don't get twisted.
That's funny.
You imagine her when she's mad.
I know. Yeah, I'm scared of girls, bro. I gotta be honest. In my 40s, I realized I'm just afraid of them.
Oh boy. Well, that's a good way to wrap up. Joe, if you want to get your thank yous ready, guys, before you start heading out the door, thank you guys all for being here with us all week. It's been a wild one. I'm sure next week will be completely calm and normal. But thank you guys all for being here. If you could, the best way you can help each and every one of us out, hit that positive affirmation button, the thumbs up on Rumble, the heart button on X, take the red pill over on Pilled. You guys are watching on Rumble. We are going to raid you over to the P. Gunnels channel. What do you got coming up tonight, Patrick?
Jeff is interviewing Kirk Carmichael again about how to escape the evils of the IRS. So check that out. It's a frequently asked questions kind of thing. So you're going to want to check that out on the P. Gunnels Rumble channel.
Amen. All right. And I do have one more read I want to do for our friends over at Rumble. If you guys are watching on replay and you're interested in supporting anybody on any of these three channels, you will see a little green tip button below the video. That is the new Rumble wallet. It's very cool. I'm going to read a little copy that they gave me here. Here's a little inside scoop that many creators are talking about behind the scenes. It's actually one of the reasons we use Rumble. They made a way to super chat creators so we get paid immediately and without any fees. YouTube and Twitch take up to 50% of the fees when you tip creators. This method takes none. That's right. The platform takes 0 fees. We keep nearly 100% of what you send. You can super chat with Bitcoin, Tether USD, or even Tether Gold stablecoins. The tip will show up directly in the Rumble chat, which of course we do our best to read at the end of the show. All you need to do is download the Rumble wallet on the App Store and send the tips to your favorite creators. You can simply go to wallet.rumble.com, or you can download the app directly from the App Store. Seriously, what an amazing way to get rid of the middleman and help the creator economy. Big shout out to Rumble for making this disruptive technology available. And if you guys are interested in that, there is a link in the chat and in the description below. Patrick, do you want to start with your thank yous and such?
Yeah,
So I know you got a little baby to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a couple of them. So first, I've got Whole Guide number $2. Thank you, Patrick, for all the work you do every day. This is no thanks, Joe. Thank you very much, Whole Guide. And Fairy Last $17. So appreciate all you do from your fellow essential oil dabbler. Oh, thank you so much. I ain't no dabbler, though. But thank you very much. Tulipblooms.shop. Get your hands on the castor blend. Daphne's blend is always a brilliant thing to go with. Tulipblooms.shop, promo code channel 17. And guys, you are correct. Thank you for having me on your show. And I look forward to next week. See you guys.
All right, brother. See you Tuesday.
Cheers.
Rambo, you want to start over on Pilled?
Yeah, I apologize. Gitmo got the zoomies, and it's a what are we on a Saturday night? So Owen's sleeping out, so I'm babysitting Gitmo while I'm trying to do this at the same time. So thank you guys for being patient with me, especially you, Dave. Over here on Pilled, King Chris gifted a cookie, THC cookie for the working bones, my man. Moon Baby 043 gifted some shades. What up, family? Late fee, thank you very much. I appreciate the support. P-Quest cookie, thank you. Deplorable Farmer gifted a can. Charlie Souls with the cookie. Lynn over it. Yeah, Lynn's over it. Gifted 809 gold pills. Thank you so much. Love the show. Back at you, friend. We love you. Moon Baby 0437 with some shades. By the way, thank y'all. Thank you. Jax212 gifted a cookie. We have been at war with Iran since 2/28/26. By my account, today is 12 days. Anybody want to bet it's over in 30? Done in 30. I believe that would be optically. I think it was done a while back, but I'm with you on the mindset. P-Quest with the cookie. Thank you very much. No thanks, Joe. Gifted cookie. Thanks, guys, for the perfect, eloquent, epilogue to the end of the week with D-Class. So fun. Hope you had peace and quiet the next couple days. God bless and be safe. And Lynn's over it again with the cookie. Thank you very much, guys. I'll release the scratch and pass it back over to Dave.
Thank you, sir. Over here on Pill, Dixie gifted the shades. Thank you. Thong Chaser gifted the cookie. Willow Patriot gifted the can. I love you guys, but King Jesus loves you the best. Amen. Thank you for that. Hogleg gifted a cookie. Hogleg 71 gifted a cookie and a can. Thank you very much, friend. And No Thanks Joe gifted a cookie. Thank you guys for another tremendous D class. You guys are the best. Have a good couple of days. See you Tuesday. God bless. Stay safe. Thank you, friend. I will release the scratch. And Joe, go ahead on Rumble.
Over on the Pilled side, I sent you guys over to Quite Frankly's show on the raid. Do me a favor, go over there and tell him that we sent you. He did a really great job hanging out with us yesterday, I believe it was. Oh no, yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday for the Protect Your Mind and Control Your Emotions show. He hung out with us for the first half of the show. Go over there and tell him Rambo and Friends sent you. Show him some love, give him a thumbs up, whether you stay or not. That dude was absolutely awesome yesterday. So thank you for that. 257 with a $1 rent. My super connected inside sources tell me that Iran negotiating team has been smoking shisha, eating kebabs, and tipping belly dancers $1 bills. Deal was done a long time ago. It's actually really funny. 257 again with a $1 rent. $1. Believe the earth is a globe and believing Artemis is fake is the same as saying Harry Potter is fake, but Hogwarts is real. Dude, I like that. Yeah, 257 is funny. Sky Blue 1924 $1 rent. Michael J. Fox was in the news yesterday because CNN reported him dead and he was lashing out at them for it. Is that real? I don't. While you're looking that up.
Yeah. Michael J. Fox responds to erroneous CNN report of his death. CNN reports Michael J. Fox is dead. He respectfully disagrees. Dude, there's a definite CNN psyop going on right now. Come on.
Dude, that's a Back to the Future psyop.
Right. And where is every one of Donald Trump's treasonous things? And there's an investigation, and if a crime was committed, it's CNN. So they're taking it out on CNN right now. And a Back to the Future comm. Yeah. That's wild.
Cool. Kermit for Swingler, $5 rent. We had an Indiana University professor get arrested for trying to introduce a virus bioweapon. Well, that's dasting. MC Ryder, $7.40, $5 rent. Pebbles, 24, said in the chat that Alex Jones needs blue calm. Being hilarious. Shout out, friend, at P Gunnels. It's actually really funny. 50 cents, $5 rent. Influencers are the new celebrities, and AI is the new Google. I've learned more about NGOs and all the fundraising scams. FireAid, the concerts, fundraisers for Haiti, and ChatGPT. Wow. I'm starting to think you guys donate $5 just to see if I can read through my color blindness. 50 cents, $5 rent. Idea for a show. Have everyone who's got video from before we got censored. Richard Citizen Journalist, Nancy Drew, and the tents in Central Park during COVID. All the old school Q people stuff. That's actually a great idea. I wonder if we can get them on, Dave.
I have Richard's cell phone number, I believe. I don't know if he's still around. But
that would be a really fun show. I would love to show Nancy Drew me calling the White House. I did that because of her work.
Yeah.
That would be fun. That would be really
fun. I like it. I like it.
Just scrolling here to make sure I didn't miss anybody, guys. All right, here we go. So Brian P. Fun, $17 rent. Patrick, I got my Total Blooms products this morning in the mail. They literally helped my issues in a few hours. What kind of sorcery is this? Love your racist flat earth products.
Oh my God. On Fox News right now, Guru Space aims to open the first lunar hotel. Oh God, it just keeps getting worse. Sorry, keep going.
We're opening hotels. We didn't even land. Kitty Kubiak, $1 rent. NASA has not been doged. Oh, there's that. That's interesting. That's dasting. Or have they? Big deal. $1 rent. Fun huddle last night. Hope you guys can do that again. Yeah, we love Mark. I bust his balls all the time, and we had some emotional conversations, but I absolutely love that dude. I'm all good, Dave. Back to you, brother.
Thanks, brother. Coming over to Rumble, Ferry Last gifted $34. I'm sorry, ranted $34 with no comment, but thank you very much, friend. Immortal Rooster gifted $17. So, Dave, Joe, the movie Fly Me to the Moon, Artemis script in the movie, isn't it crazy that the actual Artemis is Artemis 2, as in the sequel, part 2?
That's crazy.
Yep. We showed that on Open Lines last night.
Crazy.
Ghostsmith 801, $10 rant. Dave, I don't understand. Gas prices are hitting me in the wallet. Can you repeat that? It's not a left-right thing. I don't get what you meant. That was earlier in the show. I hope we kind of explained that as we went through all the different purposes of kind of how they're. If you didn't have gas prices being high, people wouldn't pay attention as much. That's the simplest way I could put it. I know that's not an easy thing for everyone to accept, but I think most of us watching are old enough to know that gas prices are one of the single things that will get people off the bench and pissed off.
Dude, if we are the biggest producer of petroleum in the world, which Donald Trump is claiming, then the closing of the Strait of Hormuz means nothing. The prices went along with the PSYOP. That's amplified messaging.
Yep.
And
Exactly right.
and with the power that comes with being the largest petroleum producer on the planet comes also the power to drop those prices like an anchor.
Yeah, and there's also a multi-layered psyop going on here. Donald, you're right, dude. Donald Trump just said it yesterday. We don't need the strait. It's the other countries that do. So you have guys like Tim Burchett out there that have been putting out videos every day for the last month explaining how the gas companies, the oil companies, are using the war to manipulate prices, which they have for decades. So people are also starting to learn that they're paying more at the pump and they don't need to be. So there's like multi-layers to what they're doing right now, in my opinion. Debbie Tackett, $20 rant. Did you notice the shade lifting behind Melania during her press conference, the veil lifting to reveal the light?
And not only did that happen, it happened at a moment when she was talking about clarity. It was nasty. Did you see that?
I actually didn't notice it, but I'm going to go back and look at that again now.
Yeah. Behind her, it was an automatic shade, bro. It was like one of those ones that you can see through, like translucently, but it's still a shade. And as she's talking about clarity, it just slowly rises.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Unbelievable. Bionic Bev, $1. And hey, Dave, I'm looking for your show from Thursday, the BB Files. It's not showing up on your channel. Yeah, Rumble had an issue with that. I don't know if it was a copyright thing. Probably. There was a lot of copies of it out there. If you guys want to see it, just go to Rumble and type in the BB Files. You'll find there's a whole bunch of people that put it out. I don't know if it's because we're a bigger channel that they clipped it. I'm not really sure what happened there. But if you want to see that, just type it in the search bar. You'll find it. Hickser NJ, $2 rant. Don't forget about Melania calling out news and fake stories too. Just the fact that she came out and spoke leads me to believe something really big is coming. Yep, that leans right into all the media stuff we've been talking about, slowly but surely. Ventiman, $10 rant. Whirlpool has ties to Tesla. Remember that, and what Trump's ties to Tesla was, and to what the Templars discovered. Probe MQB has got more on that connection.
Oh, I'll have to ask him.
Yeah, Faith and Freedom, $5 rant. Scavino post with the eagle statue. Eagle was facing the arrows, which means war. Yep, that too. Great point. Vision Dancer, $10 rant. Question: do you think all people playing DJT are central casting, and we're going to see Patton Jr.? I think they're all central casting. I don't personally have never seen proof that Trump is related to Patton. I think that's just one of those fun things. That's just my personal belief. But
he did it with Elvis. He did it with JFK. He did it with Patton. Yeah. He's comparing himself to the legend.
Is any of it possible? Of course, but the Patton thing is another one of those things that people will say, like, he is definitely related to Patton and he is definitely in Kennedy's bloodline. Like, he could be, but you can't say it with authority because we don't have a DNA test to show
it's possible, but I think what's more realistic is he's literally giving a history lesson and explaining to us how he's using history to future proofs past, right?
Yep. I'm with you on that, dude. R. Lee, $5 rant. Dave, you may want to check out Amuse's Substack titled Trump is Quietly Sending Ukraine Billions. Note the contracts were signed before Trump. Much love. I will certainly look into that, but I'm going to stand by the fact that I don't believe we've been sending billions to Ukraine. And if we have, it's for operations with Russia, not what we've been told. But I will take a look at that. Thank you. Vision Dancer, $10 rant. What if the mainstream media was the first arrest? Your dream team is the best. That would be interesting. Jules Patriot, $10 rant. Bill Cooper was my neighbor, and he told me and my stepdad Alex Jones was evil and a liar. He went on his show once and said he makes up his own headlines. Do not listen to him. I agree with that, Jules Patriot, and the drops call him out as well, but I think they're using the character to achieve something at this point. I believe, like many others, his narratives are being controlled. But I agree with what you said there. I've heard all that before. Thank you. Delta, $5 rant. Disinformation is necessary. Some operators are likely charged to lead unpopular crusades for optics and to smoke out the mercenary influencers. Exactly, brother. Thank you. Oh, Delta, that's the dude that called it last night. I remember him. Yep, I'm with you on that, brother. Bailey Lane, $10 rant. Huge fuel protests in Ireland as Europe gets the same treatment as Cuba. 1/3 of gas stations are dry. Will Ireland be the first European government to collapse? It's possible. It's possible. We have to just...
The post that says, keep the fuel, anyone, I think insinuates there's going to be issues with that because people didn't stand up for their own country.
It would certainly be a way to start motivating Europe in general. Let's see. Parkmon 1, $2 rant. Great show, Dave. Thank you, friend. N.C. Cheney, $10 rant. Rambo talking about opening. I watched the national anthem 17 times. The CIA isn't dead. Candace is selling mugs with Candace Intelligence Agency on it. Thanks for keeping your shows Q-based. CIA
I don't think the CIA is dead, by the way. I don't think it's dead. I actually think the CIA is full of a whole lot of good guys. I just think that there needed to be an issue that was... I realize the drops insinuate more than what I'm saying. I'm aware. But I do believe that clown ops were white hat operations, at least for the last short period of time.
Yeah, and I would argue most of the dark side of the CIA at this point. Remember, that was the first place he went in 2017. He talked about getting rid of the columns. That was 9 years ago at this point. Logic would tell you after 9 years, most of it has been smooth. Now, are there, the CIA had thousands upon thousands of black sites and front companies and shell companies. It was a massive thing. Like, could there still be things that they're smoking out? Sure. I don't think any of the big operations are left at this point. It doesn't make sense to me, given that would be one of the first things they went after. Jules Patriot, $2 rant. Does it have castor oil in it? The castor blend, I'm assuming? Yes. Jules Patriot, $2 rant. Promethean Action or Susan Kokinda dropped a new update. It's good. Yes, it is. I was actually going to play a piece of that today. It's regarding Trump's post about the reset. Maybe we'll play a clip of that on Tuesday, but definitely go check it out. Wenlin, 123, $2 rant. Happy Saturday. Keep up the good work. Thank you, friend. Real Chris Cockrell, $1 rant. I've always got stuck on the word saving. Are they freeing Israel from the city of London, aka Bank of England, or taking out Mossad? Israel capitulate. I would say both. I would say they're freeing them from the city of London, taking out Mossad, and then when they say saving Israel, to me, that's always been the exposure of Israel, the being allowed to have a conversation about it, which is exactly what you're seeing everywhere right now. A couple more here. Parkmon 1, $2 rent. Why hasn't POTUS said y'all don't file or pay 2025 IRS? Hold up until we figure out how much was stolen for corruption.
He can't say that.
He can't say that. He's trying to get people. He's using, and I didn't even play it tonight. We'll have to do it on Tuesday. Marjorie Taylor Greene is out there leading a tax revolt again. He wants people to reach the conclusion on their own. If the president stood up and told everyone to stop paying taxes now, then all the other people that haven't seen the fraud yet wouldn't care as much. Tell me if you agree with this, part of the emotion of getting pissed off is having 30% of your money taken away and every day turning on the news and seeing the fraud. If you took that away, then people aren't going to care as much about the fraud. We have a whole lot more to reveal.
Why would you kayfabe the left into begging for the Epstein files?
Right.
The same thing's happening with taxes and the Fed, et cetera.
Right. Is it a coincidence that he's in California right now, and then he's going to be in New York? Those are going to be the next two. Those are two of the three highest tax states in the country. So the point is, while you want people to turn on the television and look at their check and see 30-40% of it going out the door as they're being inundated with these psyops to expose the fraud. If he stood up and said, stop paying taxes, first of all, no one would pay attention to anything in the news cycle. And second of all, the fraud wouldn't be as effective. It wouldn't hit the emotions. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but that is fifth generation warfare, in my opinion. NC Cheney, $10 rant. If anyone needs a ballroom, it's DJT. He's like a big orange bull. Yes, he is. Jules Patriot, $2 rant. Dems telling him to drop out, but only Anna Paulina Luna demands he resigns from Congress. That's talking about Swalwell. Denise Volbrack, $10 rant. I'm so glad we're all here laughing at the BS and loving you all. Thank you, Dave, Joe, and Patrick. Love you, chat. Awesome mods. Amazing. We got this. God won. We the people are the plan. Thank you, Denise. And Bengal Tiger 8. Good to see you, Eddie. $2 rant. The word money originates from the Latin moneta, referring to the temple of Juno, moneta in Rome, where coins were produced around 300 BCE. Moneta comes from monere, to advise or to warn. Good dig there. And one more. Eddie, $2 rant. Moon etymology, month a measure of time, but guess what? There's supposed to be 13 months a year. That's why 13 is unlucky, or it is luck. We're in a time illusion. Hi from Tiger. Yeah, I'm on board with the 13-month thing. That's why Oct is 8, not 10. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Macro Toolbreaker, good to see you. Okay, Natalie and I are overwhelmed with emotions and beyond grateful for everyone in our community. The support since last night being on open lines has been a true godsend. Thank you all so much. That is awesome. Thank you, brother. Very glad to hear that. We have the best community here. Bengal Tiger 8, $2 rent, 17 flowers for you guys. Thanks for all your continued work, entertaining us, educating us, and helping us. Tiger over and out. Thank you, brother. And Macro Toolbreaker again, $2 rent. P.S. Thank you for letting us be a part of this family. We love you all. Where we go one, we go all. Thank you, brother. And Denise Volbrack, $2 rent. I love my people. We are so awesome. Thank you, Denise. And 257, $1 rent. Have you seen the numbers of local fire, sheriffs, and police chiefs resigning, dying, and quitting all over the U.S.? Yes. Add to that school board members and principals and superintendents too. A lot of that going on. And Skater 23, $2 rent and a smiley face. Jules Patriot, $2 rent. What's Patrick's name so I can ask the castor oil question? Patrick's name. You can go to tulipblooms.shop or email on pgunnels@gmail.com. I would go to the website though and use their customer service link.
Or call him at this number or visit him at this address. I'm just kidding.
And Yoho99, $1 rant. I'm a normie and thought I'd pop in. My opinion may not be welcome, but I'm open-minded. Out of curiosity, could it not be Trump really has unusually close ties to Israel, and there's an op exposing that? First of all, welcome. Yeah. Absolutely. Is that possible? Sure. But if you've watched this stuff for a long time and you really dig into it, the short answer is there are many, many, many reasons to understand that that's not the case. If you are new, look around and see if you can find videos about the capitulation tour and start there. That'll give you some insight into why we're coming from this from the perspective we are. Bengal Tiger 8, $2 rent. Just think of the ballroom as ballroom exposure. I see what you did there. Thank you, guys. And, of course, let me say thank you to our admins and mods, Carrie Cat, Claudia Doug, Magadice 1776. Thank you, guys all. Did I forget Cat? I'm sorry if I forgot Cat. Cat also. Thank you guys so much for your help. Could not do it without you. Rambo, your final thoughts. And, again, guys, stay tuned. We'll raid you over to Patrick's show, the Pat and Jeff show, following this immediately.
Can you drop that link in the private chat? I got one more. I think you guys are funny. I think you're just trying to see how long Dave and I could possibly keep doing this. Patriot JBD with a $10 rant, watching a segment. I think we touched on this, but I'm going to read it anyway because I appreciate the support. Watching a segment on Fox News Now with a young Asian guy who plans to build the first hotel on the moon using moon rocks to make the bricks. WTF. It's so funny, dude. And I want to say something to that person that qualified themselves as a normie. That's a great question. I believe that you're being led to believe that intentionally. Hang out with us. You're welcome with that opinion. I actually love that opinion, and I love that you spoke up and supported Dave's show. Hang out with us, and I think maybe we might be able to find some common ground. The normie conversation is so important. It's
And
why
your opinion, as all opinions, are welcome here. So
absolutely.
Yep.
100%. As long as you don't come in here going, you're gay or you're a faggot or you're, something that's offensive. If you want to have a conversation, you are welcome. I am all about that. So yeah, I don't really have any final thoughts, Dave. Great show. Great presentation. You did an amazing job tonight. I'm grateful to be a part of it. And I'll see you guys all on Tuesday at 2 p.m. for the same D class, but on my time, 2 p.m. Eastern over on not only my channel, but Dave's channel as well. So thank you guys.
That's going to do it, guys. If you are interested, tomorrow night at 8:30, I will have an interview with our good friend Matt Geiger of Verity Metals. We're going to talk about the new financial system. We're going to talk about what Trump has been doing with the Fed, a little bit about metals, good educational piece. If you guys are interested in the financial side of things, that'll be at 8:30 tomorrow night. And of course, Joe and I will be back at 2 p.m. on Tuesday for the next episode, Daytime D-Class, as we call it. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Please take some time, put the phone down, put the tablet down, enjoy the rest of your weekend, get outside, ignore the signal. I'm sorry, ignore the noise, focus on the signal. Wow, I can't even talk anymore. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.
That's treason. That's treason. They say, holy shit, they caught us. They caught us.
What story, Mr. President?
You'll find out.